Puka Nacua is looking like he's going to be out a minimum of 4+ weeks. So for everybody thinking that Puka Nacua is coming back in 4 weeks after going on IR, this is not good. This is not good. This is a situation where Puka Nacua might just end up missing something along the lines of 5 or even 6 weeks or more. It just depends on his recovery process. But this PCL injury is not thought to be something that is going to be a 3 or 4 week thing. Obviously, it has to be 4 being on IR. But news today breaking that Puka Nacua is very much in jeopardy of missing well over. Let me see if I can get the report up on screen. 4 games. So we've been talking a lot of Puka Nacua trades. Should I trade for Puka Nacua? Should I trade away Puka Nacua? I would, off of the back of this news, potentially explore getting him for pennies on the dollar. But if you are trying to hold this man thinking you're going to have him in 4 weeks, you might have him maybe 6 weeks from now. He was placed on injured reserve with the bursa and PCL. And this is going to be a minimum of 4 weeks, but the report is right now that it's looking like it's going to be much, much longer. So hang tight on this. I wish I had better news on the Puka Nacua front. I'm definitely interested in hearing about what trades you guys may or may not be able to pull off to get him for pennies on the dollar. We'll certainly be attacking that in the questions today. Puka Nacua, not good, not good, not good. This is an interesting report. Kind of reminds me of something that your boy Smitty was predicting. Jordan Love, this is according to Matt LaFleur, said that the door is pretty open for Jordan Love knee to play in week number 2. I don't know if you remember me yesterday, and I believe the evening before, saying I have a sneaky suspicion that this guy might be back after 1 week of football. It just has that kind of vibe. And I've been doing this a long time professionally. 23 plus, I forget how long now. 23 plus years professionally. And that's what makes this show so much better than all of the other injury shows or injury peeps out there, because I've seen it for 23 years. I don't care if I'm not an MD. We bring to the table an injury perspective that no one can match, because I've seen these injuries with these players, seen these injuries in these situations. You can have all the injury knowledge in the world. You can know every single thing about the human anatomy, but if you don't know how a player can respond to injury or how this particular injury is going to be recovered from, this guy Jordan Love would not shock me if he's out there in week 3, but it sounds like week 2 is even a possibility, which is absolutely unreal. Do I think it happens at the end of the day for week 2? It's going to be hard for him to get out there, and they're going to be probably putting him a little bit at risk. He'll be somewhat vulnerable. The integrity of the knee will be in somewhat question. And you can see right here, here's the LCL. This is the MCL. This is on the inside of the knee. This is a very, very tender and very, very painful injury. And if there's any risk of having the knee lose some integrity or putting the knee in volatile state, there will be certainly another week missed for that alone. Once he gets to a point where it's a pain tolerance issue, this is a young man that is hungry. This is a young man that wants to prove that he's worth the money he just got paid. This is a team that can't afford to be without him. This is Jordan Reed's potential fantasy football outcome on the line. This is Josh Jacobs getting maybe that top 10 running back value locked back into place. This is fantastic news. Don't hope for week 2, hope for week 3. We got more news to come. I haven't even done the intro yet. Achane, Jalen Wright season. Achane practicing today will be a game time decision, but he was out there looking not limited. He wasn't taking all the full reps and taking any sort of like hit or something, but he was out there doing reps, didn't look hampered at all. Achane season still underway. And if he does get shut down for 1 week, just to be precautionary, Jalen Wright's going to the moon. And if Achane doesn't get shut down and Achane plays, Wright still going potentially to the moon. Wilson could get some run. There's certainly that possibility. You have to understand the risks at play. We've got CMC News, the Fantasy Football Show, Injury Edition, Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Every single 8 p.m. Eastern edition begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
So, Love being potentially available for week 2 tells you Love's probably back in week 3. And that is just an amazing turn of events for a guy that looked like he tore his ACL. His knee buckled in the video, and you usually don't escape. When your knee buckles and you see it drop off like almost a shelf kind of, it went. You usually tear meniscus because you're sliding on that padding that's in between the knee. And you're usually tearing that ACL because the ACL is a tight fit in between the two knee joints, and it's pulled real tight and it's taut. It's not like the MCL and the LCL that are kind of a little bit able to have some lax to it, right? You can see here, there's stretching involved. And this is a model, but it very much serves in a similar purpose. You can pull like that. This is usually tearing the LCL, but you're tearing it, not snapping it. You're tearing the MCL, you're not snapping it. You're pinching the meniscus. There's the ACL and PCL are taut and they're pulled tight, and the design is to keep the two knee joints tight. Like if you sawed your knee in half, that's what they do with total knee replacements. You could saw this in half and the two joints would come apart. And so they're held together on this padding as a way to shift and rotate and give yourself that flexibility in the knee joint. And the ACL, with any sort of movement like that, easily pops the ACL. It looked like he popped it. This guy escaped not only a miracle, but he's doing the same thing with his recovery time frame. There's a real good shot. I mean, we called this to a mother freaking T last night and today.
Let him cook.
Jordan Love, sneaky suspicion. We said here on this channel, he would be back early, like to the tune of maybe missing one game. He might play week 2. The impact from this is so crazy. Again, assume he's out week 2. Okay, let's not get too carried away with a potential Matt LaFleur comment. But the takeaway here is not, oh, he's playing week 2, get him in your lineup. The takeaway here is assume that he's not going to play week 2. Okay, assume he's not going to play week 2. But this mere talk of it means that week 3 is an extreme possibility, which is enormous for Josh Jacobs, who went from being a top 5 to 10 running back, top 6 to 10 running back. He really does. Josh Jacobs in this offense with Jordan Love, with Reed stretching the field, with Reed getting end arounds and jet sweeps and making this defense go, who the hell is going to touch the ball next? Josh Jacobs has the ability to be a top 6 to 10 running back. And the moment that Jordan Love went down, our heart stopped beating for a minute. At least mine did, because this 6 to 10 running back just went from a 6 to 10 running back to maybe a 12, 13, 14, 15 overall running back. And that is a gut punch if I've ever seen one, if I've ever felt one. And now we're being told maybe this guy's back in week 3, kind of a wild week 2 situation here, but that's great news. And Reed, if anybody has Jaden Reed and they're thinking to themselves, I'm shipping him off, I'm still okay with that because of the high value that he has, but he's kind of taken a little hit since Jordan Love's supposed to miss 3 or 4 weeks. So now you're waiting on maybe trading him. Maybe if you have any Reed offers out there, you pull him. Remember what I said the moment the Christian McCaffrey news broke today? That McCaffrey, early this morning, we came out here and did it live, that McCaffrey has the Achilles tendonitis, which we're going to go over in a minute, that I said if you've got Jordan Mason offers out there, pull them. Pull them and make the owner of Christian McCaffrey say, oh crap, this guy is out on trading Jordan Mason. Now I better step up my game and try and give him what he wants. Pull your Jordan Love offers. Pull your Reed offers, pull your Jacobs offers off the table, and start negotiation again by having that owner in your league come back to you and you say, today's price is not the same price as yesterday's price. And you renegotiate what you're doing. Because Jordan Love coming back is huge for Jacobs and Reed. And the entire gauntlet of wide receivers over there, by the way. Christian Watson, you've got still Luke Musgrave getting dropped left and right. And I understand the hesitation of holding him until he does something, but there's still some big upside with Luke Musgrave. There's still big upside for Wicks if one of the wide receivers goes down. There's still big upside for Watson at his current value. Don't get carried away. But Reed is a bona fide top 15 wide receiver. Reed is an absolute superstar, a Deebo Samuel-use player that gets wide back work in the traditional sense of the wide back role, which is not up the gut running, which a lot of people confuse wide back because Deebo went to wide back and then immediately went to running back that year. That the entire running back stable in San Francisco went down and was injured. Deebo went from wide back to running back, and then people said, oh, wide back means you run between the tackles and you're running. No, it doesn't. Wide back means you're getting the ball at the line of scrimmage, around the line of scrimmage, sometimes behind the line of scrimmage, oftentimes behind the line of scrimmage, and you get to turn into a running back from the line of scrimmage or behind at your wide receiver role. Or end arounds, jet sweeps, but you're getting hit by D-backs. You're getting hit by not offensive linemen. Okay, so understand when I say Jaden Reed is a wide back, you don't go, all right, he can't hold up as a wide back. He absolutely can, because wide back is not what you might think it is. Because people paint a picture about wide back being a running back. You know who else is a wide back? This man on screen right here. This man on screen right here, and his name, he goes by Superman. He goes by Achane. He goes by Spinach Lover. He goes by Popeye. Whatever you want to call this man. Hero. He is going to potentially be still in the mix for dropping loads in week number 2. Now, Achane was very much in the news. He has been for a while now. He constantly is being doubted, talked about, talked down. People say, oh, this guy's an injury-prone guy. And yeah, he does pop up on the injury report. I'm not going to lie. What can you say? What can I say? I can't lie and say, oh, hey, and be biased and say Achane's not on the injury report a lot. But it's football, and this guy has a minor ankle injury. He doesn't have a high ankle sprain. I'm not concerned about it on any long-term level. He wouldn't be out there without a boot. He wouldn't be out there walking around without a limp if it was a high ankle sprain. This is just a mild, low ankle sprain at this point. And the fact that he's practicing, he's not practicing 100% in full, like doing every single thing, but he's out there doing drills. He's out there cutting. He's making change of direction without any sort of hesitation or limitations. He's practicing. And the 1-2 punch of this man, Jalen Wright, and this man, Devon Achane, is potentially a go for week number 2. Now, there is some thought because Raheem Mostert went on or was ruled out, that there's some thought that maybe, just maybe, Wilson Jr. could be a little bit more in the mix. There are a lot of people that are fearing that. I don't know that we have any indication that that's the case. They drafted Jalen Wright for a reason. I know the natural inclination of somebody is to say, hey, Wright was inactive last week, therefore he won't come in and do anything. But if you remember, it was Devon Achane that was inactive in week 1 in 2023, and he came right in, and they just started using him. So don't think about, oh, healthy scratch. Achane was a healthy scratch in week 1 of the 2023 season. Remember? Like, it's deja vu all over again. Okay, here's the game log. Here it is. Healthy scratch. Okay, comes in. He wasn't explosive really in week 2. Then he was running back 1 in week number 3. Running back 5 in week number 4. Running back 4 in week number 5. I mean, does anybody have any questions? Yeah, Smitty, but the missed games. I don't care about your missed games concern, Steve. I don't care about your missed games concern, you hating Achane person out there that just wants to drag him down and try and feel better about your missed prediction last year, missing on him busting, continuously saying, okay, he's a bust. Yeah, I didn't get him, so I'm going to be against him. Oh, yeah, he sucks. Running back 3. You can say whatever you want about Achane. I'm not here to convince you about Achane anymore. If you don't want to be on the Achane train, I could care less. I'm not handing out free passes. You got to pay to get on this train. Okay, the train now has tickets to get on. We don't just give them away. We're not desperate for Achane travelers that will jump on this night train to glory. Achane is going to do his thing anytime he's on the field. And for anybody that doubts him and they say, oh, Achane's not going to be good, he's constantly going to be hurt. Hurt is part of the problem, yes. And that's why we have been saying all offseason that it is a trio that must be grabbed in full. You must have, if you're smart enough, if you're astute enough, if you got the cojones to do it, to grab all three of these guys on one roster to make sure you're covered. And if you say, Smitty, that's not how we're supposed to do it, I'm telling you, how am I supposed to do this? How am I supposed to do this when the batteries fall out on the floor? How am I supposed to do my megaphone properly? I don't know if this is the way the batteries go in. We'll try it out. Hopefully I can do it live on a first go. One take Willie. No, not a one take Willie. Flip the battery over. Redo it. There we go. Come on. Come on. Smitty. There you go. Smitty, I'm being told by content creator Caleb that I need to never draft 3 positions or 3 players for one spot on my roster. Someone told me that just doesn't make any sense. You know what also doesn't make sense? This offense. You may not have heard somebody say from their mouth, go pick up all 3 of these guys on one roster. You did hear. You heard it over and over and over. And you may say that's unorthodox. So is this offense. We've never seen anything like this before. And if you've got Wright, a universal handcuff for Achane and for Mostert, you're covered. We said it all offseason long. This guy has the potential to explode. He has the potential to fall off the face of the earth because he's 38,000 years old. And Wright will be the benefactor. Now, having all 3 is a very, very attractive thing because you can start 2 running backs every single week when you own the duo. Wright might go out there in week number 2 and do nothing. I mean, if we're going to use historical data, we could say, okay, look at this. Healthy scratch Achane, week 1. Didn't do anything, eased him in, and then he became running back 1. I'm not saying Wright's going to be running back 1. I mean, he could be. He could be any given week. This is a monster. This is the fastest running back in the first 5 yards of the 40-yard dash, meaning he hits the hole quicker than anybody. This is that guy. This is a breakaway 60, 70, 80 touchdown running machine. This guy's going to have some of the bigger breakaway runs if he's between the tackles in this Miami Dolphin offense. He's going to have some of the bigger breakaway runs in the National Football League. Probably second only to his counterpart, Devon Achane. Probably second or third to only maybe Jahmyr Gibbs, maybe Breece Hall. These are breakaway runners. These are monsters. And Wright is another monster. He's another track star. So while I can't guarantee you that Wright's going to get the run that we think he could with Mostert out, it could be Wilson, could be a rotation. If Achane's out, Wright goes to the moon immediately, maybe to Saturn, maybe straight to Saturn. If Achane's out, Wright goes to Saturn because Wilson will be used, but so will Wright. And if Achane plays, there's still a strong shot that Wright goes to at least
Too much.
while Achane lives on
To
Saturn. All right, so there's that piece of news. Now, Christian McCaffrey, this coming from Ian Rappaport just like about an hour ago at this point, by the time I screenshotted this. Kyle Shanahan tells reporters that Christian McCaffrey will be limited today in today's practice, which is better than a DNP. Also says that he's not considered a candidate for IR, which a lot of people are saying, why do you even bring that up? Because it wasn't really initiated, and he just kind of offered it up, which, is good to know. But it sounds like Christian McCaffrey is not going on IR. It sounds like they're hopeful it won't be a 4+ week injury. That means that they think it could be 3 weeks or less, when you don't go on IR. They don't think it's 4 weeks. If they thought it was 4 weeks, they would put him on IR, have the extra roster spot and go from there. So they clearly want to keep an open mind. This guy's going to want to play whenever he's hurt, and they got to protect Christian McCaffrey from himself. The fact that Jordan Mason's balling out right now makes me think that there's almost zero chance with limited practices, because he's obviously still bothered that they're going to put him out there. And this report, Shanahan came out and said that this thing hasn't gone away, probably will linger all year long. It's called Achilles arthritis, and what it is essentially, if you think about arthritis, like in Todd Gurley's knee, when Todd Gurley absolutely fell off the face of the earth. That arthritis was chronic. It wasn't a temporary, like tennis elbow arthritis could be and go away and you never feel it again for years or ever. This is a chronic problem, and it's only going to get worse. It could have better days, some days, and have, get back to being really, really brutal other days. Christian McCaffrey's very much at risk of potentially being somebody that's hampered not only all year long, but misses games. Just misses games because you have, let me put Christian McCaffrey on screen here. He's missing games because he can't function like he used to, and he doesn't want to tear his Achilles tendon. And if you have an Achilles arthritis situation going on, your Achilles tendon very much could be vulnerable to an Achilles tear, mixed with the calf injury on top of it, and Christian McCaffrey's in some trouble. We're in a worry state when it comes to Christian McCaffrey going forward. And that puts us in a very big predicament when we try to assess not only his value in terms of a trade away or a trade for, but the assessment of where Jordan Mason lies in the pecking order of fantasy football rankings. Is Jordan Mason now a top 10 running back? Is Jordan Mason a top 6 to 10 running back for a couple weeks and then returns to running back 15, running back 14, because he most certainly will be involved from here on out? He most certainly is going to lessen the load of Christian McCaffrey, who is going to struggle all year long with this Achilles tendonitis, and there's probably no hope that Christian McCaffrey of old ever returns again. I'm not saying that's a lock. I'm not saying I have a crystal ball to predict the actual outcome and output of this man on the weeks 2 through 17, but I have to think that a guy that's unable to shake this situation, that has a calf injury on top of Achilles arthritis that will be chronic, arthritis that will get better. Sometimes days will be better, like I said, than other days, but it will get worse, and he's going to start to lose his explosion. He's going to start to not be able to be as in shape, ready to roll, and then other injuries will potentially be on the table. Other soft tissue injuries for a guy that struggled for 2 years to get on the field after he had a heavy workload, the same type of workload that Christian McCaffrey got last year. The last time he got it back in Carolina, he was shelved for 2 years. He got that same workload that shelved him for 2 years last year when Shanny overworked him. And now Christian McCaffrey walks into a year where he's going to be very hard-pressed to even come remotely close to his old value ever again, because he's 28 and he's now not playing. He's now having a lot of, you could say, a downgrade in his quickness, his agility, his ability to strength train. All that stuff is getting knocked down a notch, and in some cases he can't even do some of those things, so he's not going to be prepared. And then if he tries to go cold turkey straight into a game, he's going to have to be eased in, or he's going to get injured. And even if he gets eased in, he's not going to be the same player. And so you got to ask yourself, what do you do if you have him? Can you trade him away for something? Do you even risk that? What if he does come back in a couple weeks and he doesn't have a lot of breakdown in his body? He's still pretty much in shape, and he does like 80% of what he normally does. And then you kick yourself for trading him on the low. You have to be careful what you do trade away. You made your bed by drafting him. You better damn well have Jordan Mason. If you have Christian McCaffrey and no Jordan Mason, you weren't paying attention in the offseason. And I'm not mad at you. I'm here to help you. We'll try and fix the situation the best we can. That's why we're here. But at the same time, if you drafted McCaffrey, you better have made damn sure you had both of the backups and all three of the players, which is why I put this cuff board up 7-8 times a show and emphasized the must cuff board. And have 3 RBs in one situation here. We have Mason, we have Garendo, we have McCaffrey. I'm not doing this for craps and giggles. I'm here to literally pound this down your throat so none of you went into a draft or scenario where you didn't have all of the cuffs that you see on the board from 1 to 5. There's a reason these guys aren't highlighted. It's 1 to 5, the must cuff situations. And yeah, maybe Corum isn't looking like the cuff right now. Ronnie Rivers might be the third cuff, a situation that requires 3 RBs. I think eventually it will be Corum. The draft capital was invested in him, so he probably will be the backup. But no one's scared about Corum. Where are the Corum truthers saying that Kyron's going down? I don't see a single one in here. I don't see a single one. They all vanished, scattered, ran under the cabinets like mice. Nowhere to be found. Smitty is the biggest CMC hater. Nick, you don't know me at all. You don't know me at all, Nick. You obviously don't watch my show. If you watch my show, you would know this is not true. If you watch my show, you know that this is me looking out for my fellow fantasy football owner that is drafting this man who's 28 years old with a calf injury walking into the season, Nick. Christian McCaffrey, I don't know that we'll ever see him return to form. That is not something that is a hater-driven type of situation, Nick. Give me a coffee, Nick. Okay, now we have a couple other pieces of news we need to go over. I told you about Puka Nacua. I told you about CMC. I told you about Achane. We've got what else we got to get to right now? Let's go over to let's just go through the news as I have it on screen. Dalton Schultz ankle did not practice on Wednesday. We got to monitor that thing and see what's what. Joe Burrow, there's a lot of concern right now. Joe Burrow during the game, there's people that just absolutely watch his every move, just almost spying on the man. And just like obsessively, trying to see if they could find anything. And he'd go like this constantly throughout the game. He'd go like this throughout the game. He'd sit there. Now, keep in mind that the guy had a major injury, and he probably is trying to keep it loose. He's probably stretching it. If you had what happened with Joe Burrow and you felt your entire arm become useless and just fall apart, and they had to put it back together ligament-wise, you also would be like, okay, let me stretch that out. Okay, I've had knee injuries. I'm always stretching my knee, and you're gonna do it. Like this is an overreaction to Joe Burrow saying that he's got something wrong because he's constantly going like this. He's just stretching, keeping his wrist limber. He did say that his wrist is continuously getting better every day. So that's all I need to know. Joe Burrow is not lying to us that his wrist is re-injured. He's just stretching it out so everybody can calm the hell down. Puka Nacua, this is the report that I was just talking about. Puka Nacua could miss more than 4 games while on injured reserve. More than 4 games. We're talking probably 5 to 6. We're talking about maybe even when he comes back, let's say he comes back, 6 weeks or 7 weeks, that he's still very limited. He's got this injury, this bursa situation has been there for a while, and now he's got the PCL. So the PCL is a very, very integrity concern-driven injury. So we don't know what the integrity of his knee is going to be upon his return. He's very much a candidate to miss at least 5 weeks, call it 5 or 6. Kenneth Walker, oblique, did not participate in Wednesday's practice. We need more information. This is not a quick turnaround situation where we need to know tomorrow, like some other situations. But this is something that we need to keep tabs on. He's had some abdominal oblique type situations before, the hernia, all that stuff. But remember, he bounced back really quickly. He's supposed to miss multiple weeks, ended up missing, just 1 or something. So this guy's a quick healer. He does get injured quite a bit. That is a concern from a long-term perspective, but it doesn't help that I absolutely love him.
Mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy.
I love me some Kenneth Walker, and we're always going to. Kenneth Walker, you always have a home here on this channel, pal. Always have a home. And on that note, let's hit the Skywalker drop because I think it's deserving.
Kenneth Skywalker. Kenneth Lightsaber Swinging Skywalker.
Coming for the super chats in just 1 second. Let me get through this news. So, Zach Charbonnet, we haven't hit this one, this beauty in a while. We get Charbonnet potentially.
Get Charbonnet.
I mean,
open a nice bottle of Charbonnet.
It may come to fruition. We're not sure. But if possible, make sure he's not on. All I ask you is to go to your waiver wire and just make sure if you are a Kenneth Walker owner, you're not leaving Zach Charbonnet on waivers, who is clearly one of the top pickups of the week. Dobbins, Mason gets the crown and likely gets the crown of the top pickups of the week, obviously, and now Wright. So we got to put another crown. It's really like a three-way tie. I think it depends on what you need. Usually there's one crown, one pickup of the week, but we literally have 3 pickups of the week. And it's a near dead tie. If you needed a tight end, likely's your guy. If you need a running back, it's a close race between Wright and Mason. The reason it's a close race is Mason may have a little bit of a cap on his ability to be the lone starter, and the Wright situation has no relation to Achane, because Wright's role, the Mostert role, has a certain amount of carries dedicated for it. It's like an allocation of resources. How many carries are allocated to between the tackle, running back? How many carries and receptions and design plays are architected, not just designated, not earmarked to Devon Achane, but architected for Devon Achane? Tons. Compartmentalized work that cannot be touched or used or utilized or accessed. It's locked away in a box with a key, and this man swallowed the key, and no one has his role. No one's taking Devon Achane's role. Nobody. I don't care who they are. But that doesn't mean Wright isn't a fantasy football low-end running back one if he's starting between the tackles and Achane starting at wide back, because that's how they roll.
Achane. Achane is the man.
It's quite possible Achane took all the spinach for CMC to absorb.
His haters call him small.
Didn't share any of the spinach.
He is 9 feet tall.
Achane is the man.
So Kenneth Walker, keep tabs on that. If Walker sits, Charbonnet is a great start and play. If he doesn't sit, Walker is going to be potentially a monster. I really think Walker in this offense, look, Ryan Grubb loves him. Ryan Grubb wants to use him. Ryan Grubb says, this is my guy. This is my guy. This is kind of disturbing news, guys. This is very disturbing. Now, this is coming from a guy that Chase Daniel, that was not an electric, he's, this is a guy, this is a couch quarterback. This is a guy that's sitting on the couch, in so many words, judging other quarterbacks. And I think he brings a lot of knowledge to the table. I do. But let's just keep take this with a grain of salt. But Kirk Cousins is clearly not healthy, says Chase Daniel. And let me just, put this on screen. I don't mean to call you out, my guy, but, this is ridiculous commentary you got over here in the peanut gallery, talking about London sucks. London's not good. This is Tyler. Tyler, I don't know what you're looking at, bro. Drake London sucks. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I don't know. I don't know what you're doing judging a man off of 1 week of football, when he's clearly proven to be one of the best jump ball specialists and contested catch specialists in the National Football League, and he's got one of the better backup situations in the entire fantasy football landscape, but NFL. He's got a backup in Penix Jr. that could be a superstar, and I think it happens sooner than later. Also, if you guys remember, Sky Hansen came on the show. Remember this?
Hey, Smitty, it's your boy Scott Hansen from NFL Red Zone, and 17 weeks of commercial-free fantasy football start now. I've never seen you wide shot there, my dude.
So when he came on the show to discuss some stuff, we ended up telling him that Penix Jr. would be a monster at some point during the year. And per start, he would be a top 10 running back. And, you know, Scott and I had some fun with it. We love Scott Hansen. He loves some of the bold predictions that I drop. And I always make his jaw drop during the interview. Every year he comes on at least once. And we talked about this, and he had this to say on this situation, which is fantastic. Let me see if I can pull up the Scott Hansen. I think it's right here.
Hey, Smitty, it's your boy Scott.
No, here. I think it's right here.
Remember me live on stream at Penix is throwing top 5, top 6 numbers? You know, Smitty out there.
Hey, Smitty, if it's December and Penix is a top 5, even top 10 fantasy quarterback in December, I'm coming back on the show.
Back on the show. Okay, during the year?
December, by Christmas, in the month of December, if Penix is a top 10 fantasy quarterback this year, and I realize something would have to happen to Cousins. And
per start though, right? Because I can't. If he goes in week 8, I can't.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. If per start, he's got to have multiple starts. Can't be like, he just had his first start.
If he's blowing your socks off, I want a Smitty out there on the live show. Smitty.
All right, buddy.
So we're rooting for. I'm not trying to root against Kirk Cousins at all, but we're hoping for that. We're hoping for a little shout out on the Red Zone Live, because if Penix goes in there and balls out, it's gonna be a fun. It's such a fun year. I have to say, we're landing a lot of shiat on this channel this year. This is probably one of the best years, just in sum total, of the things predicting, from Cooper Kupp as a huge win, as a league winner.
Let him cook.
Just thing after thing. Even this Christian McCaffrey, the cuffing situation, everything we're doing, I swear we're smashing the hell out of the season so far. So anyway, back on point here. I'm going to get to the super chats in a second, but this situation is very concerning, at least initially, and then we start saying to ourselves, what's the safety net backup plan? It's an absolute monster in Penix Jr. So anybody freaking out on Drake London right now, anybody freaking out on Bijan, on Kyle Pitts, you got to remember the safety net is better than potentially the piece in place that is waiting for the safety net to catch the piece in place. I really think that we're looking at a potential. I don't know whether, I said this about Love. I just have a sneaky suspicion he'll be back after like 1 week of football, and already Love might be playing week 2. If you missed that, go watch that part of the earlier show. I just talked about Jordan Love, the breaking news on Jordan Love. But I have a sneaky suspicion that by week 7, week 8, maybe earlier, Penix Jr. is in the lineup no matter what. And there's definitely a situation that I can envision where this team is 0-3. They have 3 losses in a row, even if they're 1-4, whatever, that they turn to Penix Jr. because they can't afford to lose another game. So this should be time. My preemptive show has had it here. I get often asked, maybe 5 times, maybe 100 times sometimes a day, who is the next Jordan Mason? Damn it, Smitty. I didn't listen to you on Jordan Mason. I didn't listen to you on Isaiah Likely, who was on this board, on the preemptive board show. Here's the preemptive board show. I keep it for reference. This is like a Picasso. We need to maybe frame this thing. This thing should maybe be framed. I need to turn this potentially into an NFT. And, we're looking at this thing, and we're looking at likely as maybe the top pickup of the week, Preemptive. Hey, I'm telling you this ahead of time so that you guys go grab him, so you're not racing to the waiver wire, spending your fab, save your fab on something else, and you can be the hero of your league. Oh, everyone goes to search for likely. There he is on your roster. I've been saying this. I've been asked constantly, Smitty, who is the next guy up? And I'm looking at the Preemptive board here. This is not the current board. And I'm telling you, this potentially, we already called Fields. That's already done. We already nailed that one and smashed it. This is the potential quarterback league winner, especially in Superflex, Penix Jr. This guy here, A.D. Mitchell's the potential Xavier Worthy, just sitting there. No one knows that he's the Xavier Worthy, just waiting in the wings. Winnington we had in the beginning. I think he could still be very good now, obviously, with Puka out multiple weeks. We got to talk about that. Jalen Wright. This was the top pickup of the week, Preemptive Waiver Wire. Preemptive Waiver Wire. The top pickup running back of the Preemptive Waiver Wire show week situation. And now you ask me, Smitty, can you please predict the future? Get into your crystal ball bag. Let's go, bro. Who's the next guy? Mason's on this list, obviously. We nailed that. Who is the next guy? Let's go straight over to the current waiver wire board. And let's look at it and say, I'm combing through this, and I say Bigsby's got a shot at being that. Week 1 week from now, 2 weeks from now, everyone's dropping full load drops.
Initiate full load drop
On Bigsby. But my favorite picks would be Benson, Braylon Allen. Garendo needs to be looked at in case Mason gets injured. Benson, Allen, and then I think one of my favorites is Ray Davis. If Cook gets injured, fumbles the job away, this guy gets in there and gets half the work and just looks better. This could be the guy. It's still Mitchell at wide receiver, it's Penix Jr. at QB, and it's Ray Davis. Consider this your Preemptive Week 3 waiver wire video. And this is concerning right here. Now, for everybody that's doubting London, doubting Kyle Pitts, doubting Bijan because of Kirk Cousins right now, if you're doubting London, I feel bad for you, Tyler. I'm here for you. I'm going to try and talk you back onto the train, but I'm not going to try too hard. London is a steal. Go trade for London. This guy was a top 13, 14, 15 overall pick 1 week ago. 1 week has gone by, and people have jumped off the London train entirely, which is reckless and wild to me, but it's an exciting thing as well. A very exciting thing. Smitty has every running back on the waiver wire pickup list. I mean, if you're saying that in a joking way, like those are all available players. So of course I'm going to have the list as long as I can get it. I get complaints every year that there's not enough people on the list. So somebody made that comment too, like, Smitty's putting everyone on the list. They're available. I'm ranking them. What are we talking about here? Is that a problem? What are we doing? I don't understand. Maybe you're being positive about it, but there are people that have been very negative about how there are too many names on the waiver wire list. Well, it's not my fault those guys are out there in high percentages of leagues, and someone's got to rank them. So this news right here, Roma Dunze, heel, did not practice. Roma Dunze's not practicing. Where's my Keenan Allen? Roma Dunze, here's another Roma Dunze. Roma Dunze not at practice, did not practice Wednesday. And then we've got the Keenan Allen news somewhere in here. I think here's Keenan Allen, just to hit this at the same time. Keenan Allen did not practice on Wednesday. Things are falling apart in Chicago real quick. And, I know some people are going to say, Smitty, you're just excited about this. Like, it's not about being excited. It's about being historically correct. And there's times where your boy has gone a little aggressively against Caleb. And I don't know, I've taken some heat for it, which is fine because I'm making bold statements and I'm going at everybody's, darling QB, rising QB star. But Caleb looked cheeks, bro. He looked very bad. He didn't look just in a overwhelmed setting, kind of doing good and bad. He looked absolutely horrendous. This guy had like 90 yards total, no touchdowns. Didn't have INTs, but should have because INTs were dropped. Should have had 1 or 2 INTs, 0 touchdowns, 90 yards, and this guy took the game ball home like he earned the victory when he kneeled down in victory formation. It did drive me nuts. I'm going to admit to you, it drive me a little nuts. I was watching the game, and I was kind of screaming at the television saying, how are you keeping the game ball with that big grin on your face? I don't care if this is your first win. I don't care if you're breaking records by being the first rookie quarterback. You're kneeling down on your first start. You didn't do anything. Your defense won that game. Caleb Williams won because of his defense, and he might win again because of his defense. But this offense looks bad. 2 of the wide receivers are down. Shane Waldron is an awful, awful coordinator for this situation. I've said that from the jump. So Caleb Williams is a big concern moving forward. This guy, Brandon Ayuk, look, I know everyone's going to panic on Ayuk, and I'm not suggesting that he's going to be worth his value that you paid. This is a guy I did not recommend any of you draft. This is a guy that was off my draft board. He was a do not draft player for me. It's not that I think he's a bad player, but he was going to come in rusty, and he's going to be very vulnerable to injury because he sat out the entire offseason. And he's coming in cold turkey. And are we shocked that his head's tilted and he says, after the game, I didn't watch the film until this morning. I was a little bit scared to watch it. He's obviously not in sync. And we knew this was going to happen. Way to go. Way to go. Sit out. Now you're potentially going to have an injury-plagued season, or you're just going to be rusty. Now, could he bounce back soon? Yes. With Christian McCaffrey hindered, maybe there is a potential world where this guy consumes a lot of footballs more than normal, and he becomes a savior for people down the stretch. But we knew that this slow start was inevitable. It was going to happen, and I don't know if you should be panicking if you invested in him. You almost made your bed. You got to wait it out and see what happens and not sell low. T. Higgins, hamstring, did not practice on Wednesday. This is a weird one because remember when he was interviewed walking into week 1 and they said, hey, T, how's that hammy? And he said, I feel fantastic. Get away from me. I'm T. Higgins. I'm entitled to a multi-trillion-dollar contract, and I should be being paid like a wide receiver 1. This is not a wide receiver 1. This is a Michael Pittman Jr., who I've taken a lot of heat for years when I say that he's not an elite wide receiver 1. He's a borderline wide receiver 1 that's more of an elite wide receiver 2 for a team. T. Higgins is an elite wide receiver 2. He's fantastic as a wide receiver 2. But a lot of people think he's going to another team and going to be some glorified top 6 to 10 wide receiver. He's not. And he's always injured. A do not draft player for me, T. Higgins. Now we're sitting here asking ourselves, is he ever going to play this year? When's he going to play this year? Will he come back too early and get hurt again? Is he going to have to be eased in when he comes back? Does he need a week or two to even get to speed? T. Higgins is a big concern. If you got him, you're shopping him for Tank Dell. You're shopping him for an injured Kenneth Walker. You're shopping him in a package deal, probably more than anything. Upgrade your quarterback from a QB5 to the top 3 QB. Throw him in. Upgrade your tight end 7 to the tight end 2 and McBride or Kincaid. Throw him in. Upgrade your running back from, let's call it a Mixon or a J.K. Dobbins. You upgrade into a Kyron, an Achane, a JT. Throw him in. You want to know how to get rid of T. Higgins? I just gave you the formula and recipe. Russell Wilson, limited. He's not playing week number 2. If I had to guess, you know who's playing week number 2? Our boy. His name is Justin Fields.
Leave it on the fields.
Just in time.
Fields of dreams.
Feels like making love.
Outstanding in his fields.
Feels so good.
Fields General.
I feels good. Uneven playing fields.
Battlefields tested.
Fields. He's for reals.
Russell Wilson is likely out this week in that calf injury. Calf injuries, man. Calf injuries are MCLs and calf injuries are the new ACL. It's crazy how we get a wave of the same injury. Jacobs was limited in Wednesday's practice. This is completely thought to be a maintenance issue. I've looked into it, and every beat reporter, every source I can find, it's all saying that this is maintenance. This is just, he had a heavy workload. He was getting used massively, and they want to keep him healthy, so they did a little maintenance day. So fully expected him to go. And on top of that, guys, remember what I was saying, that this guy's value goes from, he's kind of dipped into like the 10, 11, 12, 13 14, 15 running back rank right now because Jordan Love's on the shelf. We've kind of almost, even myself, I feel like I've kind of been like, someone says, hey, should I trade for Jacobs? Or, hey, I got Jacobs, what am I doing? And you're like, you just kind of has a damper type feel to it, right? Because Love's out. He's going to be focused on. He's going to see a lot of 8-man fronts, and we're concerned about that. But, man, knowing the Jordan Love, if you missed the report, hit the top of the show to get a refresh on it. But Jordan Love, there's Matt LaFleur saying maybe he plays week 2. So that means at least he's a strong candidate, Jordan Love, to return for week 3, which means Jacobs' value is safe. Maybe for a week he gets a little more attention in 8-man front situations, but good Lord, having this guy back in the saddle in the top 6 to 12 running back conversation is still a wide range of outcomes for him, so 6 to 12, but the fact that we could get that top 6 running back potentially in there in the mix. This is good for Javonte, for McLaughlin, for that running back crew in that crowded Denver backfield. Broncos placed running back Estime on injured reserve. He'll miss at least 4 games. And so, I don't know. As much as I want to race toward the Javonte Williams, can he do it now? It seems like a disappointing avenue. I'll be a cheerleader and rooting for Javonte, but I will not be sitting here expecting anything from Javonte because I don't expect consistency from that coaching staff with the RB. Brock Bowers is practicing in full in week 2 in case you were worried about that, and that is all she wrote for the news. Now is time to dig straight into the super chats, which I'm going to answer in order in which they're received, but starting off with the $20 haulers first and foremost, as usual. Rodney, appreciate you. This one's from Myra, appreciate you. $20 haulers in the building. Drop it like it's hot. Throw it right on the screen there. Appreciate you all. Michael, appreciate your $20 hauler as well, pal. Let me hit that right there. Let me put that right there. Iconic, appreciate you dropping the $20 wad on screen. You are awesome. Appreciate you. Let me go down a little bit further. And we've got Sam I Am dropping the $20 hauler as well. Let me put that on screen. We got Kirkwood with a $20 hauler. Appreciate you, Kirkwood, dropping the massive super chat on screen, pal. I think that's all the $20 haulers. If you want to jump the line of what looks like 40 super chats sitting in the wings that I got to go through, all you got to do is drop a $20 hauler and you'll go straight to the front of the line. I'm sorry, it's just a corrupt world. it's a biased world. It's just that's the way it is. All right, let's hit these super chats. This one's from Kirkwood. Kirkwood, appreciate you, my guy. 10-team Superflex, 1 QB running back. Mahomes, Debo, Kyron, Bowers, Jacobs, who looks a lot better today than he did yesterday. Devontae, I can never tell if this is Devontae Adams or Devonta Smith because you guys spell it wrong every time, and it's like a incorrect spelling that is in between. I believe that's Devontae Adams because you would put Devonta Smith if it's Devonta. AR5, Dell, Mostert, Wright, JSN. Any lineup ideas? I'm shopping Mostert and JSN. You're probably not going to get a single lick of interest, bro, in this situation. But I would probably say, looking at this, I would probably say your best trade high person would be, if it's 1 QB, it's AR5. You have an amazing quarterback. Not saying it was a mistake to draft 2 quarterbacks. You probably got them at a value. But AR5 or Mahomes, I would trade one of them. And to be honest, even though I love Mahomes, I would trade the one that got me the most value. And that would be, that would probably be AR5 at this current moment in time anyway. So AR5 to the needy QB owner, and then you see what's what. If it's a 10-man league, you probably have a little bit harder time finding a QB needy team. So this might be a problem for you, and it's a good problem to have both those quarterbacks. If you can't sell off AR5 or Mahomes, you really don't have a lot of sell high candidates. So my advice is to wait, my guy. And no one's going to buy Mostert. And if you've got Wright and Mostert, you still are good kind of waiting on that combo. I think that I think there's not much but to stand down with this team unless you're able to get that quarterback trade. I would just say you're doing yourself a disservice by trying to sell medium rare on some of those guys. Let him pop off, and then maybe you got some value. If that's Devonta Smith, let him pop off. If that's Devontae Adams, let him pop off. and then you got a potential trade piece. Thank you very much, my guy. Just real quickly, Cooper Kupp making us proud. Making us proud. Garrett Wilson. Little bit of concern around Garrett Wilson right now, just a little bit. Again, we got to be careful not to knee-jerk react to week number 1, but there's also some buy low opportunity. Whenever you have a player that kind of comes out of week 1 disappointing, especially when they had a disappointing prior year, there's PTSD involved. You've got Drake London, bad year, and then he comes out bad week 1. Garrett Wilson, bad year, bad week 1. There's buying opportunities. So as we talk through these, keep in mind Garrett Wilson's both a concern, but also a very good buy low. So, take that for what it is too, Kirkwood, if you can go get Garrett Wilson on the very cheap. 12-team PPR, 1 flex. Let's see here. What do you got here? Bench, Cooks, Watson, Addison, Mike Williams, Jalen Wright. Mike Williams is a drop if you need to. Trying to move Raheem and Rashad White plus T to get Nico or Ayuk. I would not move Ramondre Stevenson and T for Ayuk. I don't think Ayuk's a big enough name, my guy. I would do the Garrett Wilson thing. I'd do the St. Brown thing. I'd do MHJ even using maybe Rashad White straight up. T. Higgins in something smaller straight up. Marvin Harrison Jr. is very cheap. So stingy league, yeah, tough to say. I would say go after Marvin Harrison Jr., go after Kenneth Walker, go after Alvin Kamara, and you might not have to use even 2 of these pieces, or you could use the cheapest 2 pieces. Those are very attainable players. Go after Josh Jacobs off the news today. I bet his owner doesn't have a clue that Jordan Love's going to be back maybe within 1 week, if not this week. Off the new news today, the breaking news on Jordan Love that's at the top of this show. Go rewind and check it out and then jump back into place here. But I think Jacobs has good trade value, and that would be, I wouldn't trade Ramondre. I would keep Ramondre, and I would trade Rashad White. Rashad White's a big concern for me, and I think he's going to get only more and more work taken by Bucky Irving. Rank my team, full PPR, Kyler, Achane, Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason looks so good right now. I don't know what will be in store for him in week 5, 6, 7, 8, but it definitely looks like a good piece right now. Tyreek Hill, London, Trey McBride, Devontae Smith, and Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler is obviously a very weak flex. I'm combing through. You got Brian Thomas Jr. Can I ask you a question? What did Brian Thomas Jr. do to offend you so much that you're going to put him on the bench and put Austin Eckler in as oh, he's not in your flex. Devontae Smith is. Okay, I apologize. BT, yeah, you can't really. You got good trade value in BT, though. You got great trade value in BT. I would say, I don't know, man. I mean, BT and Jordan Mason, as much as I love Jordan Mason, I do try and capitalize on the situation if I can, especially if I'm not sure what's in store for my running back too, if he does go down. It's not like he's your flex and you're riding the wave. Mason and BT, maybe that the Christian McCaffrey owner has got somebody like a Achane, Pacheco. I would consider BT and a bench player for Kamara. I would consider picking up Chase Brown if he gets cut. So many people are knee-jerk reacting on Chase Brown. I definitely think he's a good pickup. If he probably got cut in a tremendous amount of leagues. Yo, Smitty, what move can I make PPR? Mahomes, London, Devontae Smith, Dell Ford. Also, A.D. Mitchell and Braylon Allen were dropped. So should I spend on Fab? I mean, I don't know the amount you should spend. You need to know your historical data, like your trending. Are people dropping, $20 out of 100 on guys like that are cut ever? I would say like $5 to $10 might get it done. $0 might get it done. I don't know what, if he got cut, that tends to signify that the league doesn't love him, but that's one guy. One guy can make a mistake. A.D. Mitchell is a hot commodity in one sense. If you know what's going on, you know what time it is, your eyes are open. You've been listening to this show, and you know that he had 102 touchdowns essentially last week that were just this close to happening, and he ended up with nothing. I think that I pick him up, and I wouldn't be afraid to use $5 or $6. The only concern I have is I'm a kind of guy that likes to have 100 out of 100 left to do a full load drop.
Initiate full load drop.
And I'm concerned that you might be able to get him for free, and then later on you're kicking yourself because you only have $91 to drop instead of 100 on Ray Davis, who goes into the lineup and explodes or something. So I don't know about the fab amount, but I would say as far as your team's concerned, don't trade London Low. Devontae, again, I don't. I think this is Devontae Adams. You guys are spelling Devontae wrong in both cases, so we have no idea what player you're talking about. Devontae Adams or Devontae Smith? Oh, Devontae Smith. I'm sorry, Devontae Smith. I see Smith. Okay, Devontae Smith, Dell, Bijan, Ford. So maybe I'm gonna say. I don't know that you have much trade potential here. I don't say that in a way to discourage you or say your team's not good, but you don't have. Ford is the only guy that's gained a little bit of value, and I like him. I don't necessarily want to ship him off anyway, but London you can't trade. Devontae Smith doesn't earn the value he deserves. Dell certainly doesn't. Bijan certainly doesn't, even though we all love Bijan. People are worried about him. They're worried about the Falcons. They're worried about Kirk Cousins, so you have literally nowhere to go. Odunze's injured. Chase Brown didn't deliver. Leggett, none of these guys have done anything. You have no ability to make these maneuvers. The only thing I could advise you on right now is to stand down and wait. Let these guys ball out. You do have a good team, and you do need to hit that waiver wire. I think your team is like a 7.8, 7.5, and it just requires one waiver move if you land it, if you get that guy. If you had just got the Jordan Mason, if you had just got the Jalen Wright, these are the league winners, right? If you get the next one, there might be one or two left, and it could be the best one of them all. It could be second place of all the waiver wire pickups. You're gonna be in the mix. You know we haven't used this year, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, because there have been opportunities to use it, and for some reason I haven't brought it back this year, and I don't know why I haven't. Let's make sure we remedy that right now, and we still have time because it's only week 2. But the odds of this man right here, Jalen Wright, becoming the best pickup of the year, which is a very, very important distinction, right, of whether a guy should be a full load drop person or not. The odds of this man becoming the best pickup of the year are probably a 9 out of 10. Probably a 9 out of 10. And dare I say, the odds of Jordan Mason are very similar. So the odds of Jordan Mason and Wright being the best pickup of the year, I don't think we don't give a 10 away very often, but the odds of these guys being the best pickup of the year, 9 out of 10. It's a very good score. We rarely give 10s out. 10 would be, let's say 10 would be that if Wright was deemed the starter right now, or CMC was out for the season, then Mason would be a 10. The fact that we have some lingering concerns about the workload could be limited in week 7, 8, 9, 10. It could not be. We don't know with Mason. We also don't know with Wright either. But if Wright was anointed the starter, if let's say Mostert was done for the season, then Wright maybe becomes a 10 out of 10. I think we have the same probably score for Likely. Likely's probably around an 8 or a 9. I'd say a 9. He's got good value. So to have 3 9s at this juncture of the offseason is wild. Coming out of week 1, we have 3 9s, something we've never had before. 3 9s potentially, odds of being the best pick of the pickup of the year. That's a really wild amount of players to have for this board. So fantastic waiver wire session already, right? The concern I guess I have for somebody that hasn't landed one of those players yet, so for Michael, is how often do you see 9s available? 9 out of 10 odds of being the best pickup of the year. How often do you see it? The answer is not often, maybe once or twice during the entirety of the year, and we've already seen 3 of them. Do I think that there's a potential 9 out of 10 hiding here? I do. I think Ray Davis, I think Benson, I think, so from the running back front, Ray Davis, Benson, maybe Bigsby, but really Chase Brown too, if he gets cut and he's available. I know people are giving up on him, and that's fine. I don't care. Garendo has a little bit of that in case injury struck the entire backfield. Braylon Allen. Those are the potential guys. A.D. Mitchell on the wide receiver front. Penix Jr. on the quarterback front. And the tight end fronts are... Ben Sinnott's got like that high ability, but I don't know if he would be a 10. So, Michael C., I would definitely look to potentially grab A.D. Mitchell. Make sure you're not sitting there wishing you did. And your drops, I guess Dortch in Mostert to IR should open up a spot. But, you know, maybe Michael Wilson, unfortunately. I love Michael Wilson, but unfortunately, he and Dortch are probably your two worst players if you needed to drop two to get Braylon Allen in the mix. Rodney with a $20 hauler traded Connor, Dowdle, and Devontae forever. Harrison, Walker, and Watson. Traded Connor, Dowdle, and Devontae for, not forever, for Harrison, Walker, and Watson. Harrison, MHJ, Walker, and Watson for Connor, Dowdle, and Devontae. I assume Devontae Smith. You guys got to get the Devontae right. Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith. I think that's Devontae Adams. I guess I got to attack both of it. If it's Devontae Adams, I would say trade Connor and Dowdle and Devontae Adams for Harrison. Harrison and Walker, crush it. If that's Devontae Smith, I still take the Harrison Walker side. And I say it still probably crushes it. Myra, appreciate your $20 hauler. Got Nico for London. Traded one. That's trade one. That's a fantastic job.
You've just been.
I love London. But Nico is very safe. So I'm fine with this trade. Doesn't mean I don't like London. Doesn't mean I don't buy London. London had higher ADP. But this is me being real that Nico is just safer. So that's okay. Trade two. I get A.J. Brown and David Montgomery. I give up Jacobs and Devonta Smith. Jacobs and Devonta Smith for David Montgomery and A.J. Brown. I'll be honest, this one kind of is a wash. I really still believe in Jacobs. I think Monty's very good. I think A.J. Brown's better than Devonta Smith and Jacobs. I'd rather have the A.J. Brown side. But is it a country mile? No. But I'd rather have the A.J. Brown side because I think Monty's still going to be very good. But he does come with a little bit of injury risk, in my opinion. But so does Jacobs. Jacobs is injured right now. It's mild, but he is injured. So I'd rather have the A.J. Brown side. A.J. Brown's got a little bit of knee injury concerns, etc. But I'd rather have the A.J. Brown side. I think you did very well in your trades. Congratulations on making those happen. This one from Alex and this one from Colin. These $20 super chats. Appreciate you guys dropping the 20 wads on screen. I'll get to the super chats after these two. The rest of them. Alex, evening pal, start two, standard league, James Cook, Jacobs, or Brian Robinson Jr. I'm going to go with Cook and Jacobs. Why? If I was to sit one for Brian Robinson, it would be me sitting James Cook. I don't think I would sit Jacobs yet. Wide receiver, start two of them. Chase, Jamar Chase is a lock. And probably Adams at the moment. I like Pittman. I don't love Pittman. I've proven that. But I like him. I still like him. He's still capable. 100 yards and a touch any given game. Like Pittman pulling in a 90-yard touchdown toss by a AR5 while AR5's on his back. Throwing 90 yards on his back. It's very possible. Did you guys see that throw by AR5? That was a 70-yard bomb. It was a 60-yard play, but it was a 70-yard throw. And it was like the ball had a gyro or some sort of, it was a drone ball or something. Because when AR5 slipped and he was about at the 30-yard line and he just threw the ball off his back foot, the ball went like this. And then instead of dropping, it went... this guy's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Someone said the show, is the show lagging a little bit? Hopefully I fixed it right there. 12-man wide receiver league. Oh no, I got to get to this one. Okay, so Jacobs, I'm going to start, and as a receivers, I'm going to go Adams and Jamar Chase. I think Pittman, if you wanted to go Pittman instead of Adams, I totally can get behind that. I don't know what in the hell is happening in Las Vegas. Pittman might be safer, to be honest. Pittman and Chase, but Adams, it's hard to sit him. Maybe trade him. Maybe trade him before you do anything else. That way your decision's made for you, Alex, because that might be the solution. let's see here. Let's freaking go. Jordan Love coming back week 3. At least week 3, it seems. I mean, anything could happen. They could say this and then he doesn't come back for 4 weeks, but it does sound like they're trending toward, if he could maybe play this week, then he could probably play next week. 12-man, 3 wide receiver league. Hurts, Hill, Debo, Coleman, Jacobs, Kamara, Ferguson, Watson, Wright, T-Law. Any moves I should make? Hurts, Hill, Debo, Coleman, Jacobs, Kamara. I wouldn't mind using, like, you got Wright right now. Right. Maybe you put Wright in your lineup if he's starting, and you could potentially trade. I don't know. You can't trade Jacobs away on the low. Kamara might have some good value. I don't know. I think you probably hold this team a little bit. I think Jacobs and Kamara both increase their value. So I would say stand down and wait, but your preemptive move you should be thinking about getting in your trade bag for week number 3. And what you'd probably go after would be something along the lines of trading away. Let's say, I don't know what you could even do. If Charbonnet got to start, you could go that direction. But I mean, maybe if you were looking for, you could trade Jacobs and I don't know, bro. I don't know that you have much of a move, Colin. I hate to do this. I'm trying to give you help as best I can on a $20 hauler, but there's not much movable capital here. Because you probably if you have to make a move at all, it would be trading Hill into 2 players. There's no other move I can come up with that makes a lot of sense because you have no 2-for-1 potential on the bench. You know, Wright and Jacobs, Wright and Kamara and Jacobs for 1 player. I mean, you could go after a Bijan using Jacobs and Kamara. You could go after, Breece Hall or Gibbs using Jacobs and Kamara. But 2 running backs for 1 is a hard trade to pull off. You usually need a receiver. And I don't want to throw Debo into anything. I don't want to throw Hill. So if you were to trade Hill, if you feel like you can't win with this team, I guess you could go like Hill and Kamara or Hill and Jacobs. Go to the Gibbs owner, go to the Kyron owner, go to the Achane owner, and see if they've got a wide receiver like St. Brown or somebody that's slightly below Hill, and then you're upgrading your RB and barely downgrading your wide receiver. That's the only advice I can come up with at this moment in time. The rest of it is just stand down. Stand down until further notice. Let the players gain some value. That's your only move, really, is that divide and conquer move of Tyreek Hill, unfortunately. And I'm not saying to do it. I'm just telling you that's the only thing I can envision. And if you did the right move, it would be good. Nobody should have the mentality that nobody can be moved. You know what I'm saying? Because any player can be moved. I can move Bijan. If someone's going to give me an upgrade at wide receiver that's tremendous and I only have to downgrade to Gibbs, then I'll do it. 12 PPR, Kyler, Breece, Moss, Chase Brown, Zamir White, MHJ, London, Terry, Likely, McBride, Sharps. I got offered Kyron for London and Moss and Likely. I would take Kyron in a second. My TikTok blew up because I scored 68 points week 1 and I need help, Smitty. Well, my first piece of advice is to go smash that trade. Keep the faith in MHJ, London, Scary Terry, Breece. You got a good team. I take that trade. I think your team turns around a little bit with that trade. So I would smash that trade. The only other thing is maybe upgrade Kyler slightly if you can. If you can get into a Mahomes before it's too late. Yo, Smitty, who should I start at flex? Also, what 2-for-1 trade do you recommend? 10-team PPR. Hurts, Gibbs, Achane, Jefferson, Rashee Rice, McBride, Devontae Smith. Bench is Tank Dell, Corum, Odunze, Najee. I'm trading Najee, and I'm trading him with maybe a Devontae Smith for an upgraded player. I'm going after Chase while he's low. I'm going after St. Brown while people think St. Brown's no longer a first rounder. Those would be the best moves to make. I love the rest of your team. That's the only thing I'm trying to do. Devontae Smith and Connor for one bigger, stronger, better player. It doesn't have to be a wide receiver because you got good wide receivers. It doesn't have to be a running back because you got good running backs. I keep your tight end. Don't even think about moving McBride. And honestly, Najee and Devontae Smith, Najee and Connor, like all those things work. And I want Tank Dell in my lineup, if possible. And I don't know that you can do that. You certainly could. If you traded, let's say, Connor, Devontae Smith, and got, let's say, Connor and Devontae Smith for a JT or a St. Brown, then you got Dell and St. Brown, and that's an okay problem to have, but it's not like you solved that problem. But I love that idea, Chris. That's the only move I think that I would make with that team. It's a really good team. $20 haulers get immediate attention, and this is the last one so far unless someone drops another $20 hauler. And now I'm going to get to the remainder of the Super Chats in order in which they were received. So appreciate every one of you. True Penguin will be first up right here, followed by Professor, followed by Chris, followed by Sirius, followed by Gunner, followed by Corey. 12-team PPR, someone dropped Love. Drop Herbert form, yes. I can only have 2 quarterbacks rostered. Yes, I would do that. Allen is on the waiver wire and he moves. Allen in the waiver wire and he moves. Keenan Allen, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Keenan Allen. Would I pick him up over, let's say, Bucky Irving? Probably. Just because he's a wide receiver that I think people pay the price for. Ramondre for Coleman and Taysom Hill. Wait. Ramondre for Coleman or Taysom Hill. No, that's Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill for Rice and Achane. I'd take Rice and Achane over Tyreek Hill. And I would rather have Ramondre over Coleman. But that's a hell of a trade, that second one. And you're getting a lot of value, so I do like it, bro. I do like it. Professor traded Monty straight up for Adams, then package Adams and with Ayuk, who was my 5th pick, for Chase. How did I do? Sum total, Professor, I like that. I'd say I'd rather have your side. Do I think you could have got maybe something else in addition? Maybe, but I don't know. I like that trade for you. That's good. Any moves? 10-man league. Hurts, JT, Achane, Henry, B-Rob, Mason, AJ Brown, Debo, Nico. Not really. I mean, I'd try and trade maybe Henry and potentially Mason for one like running back upgrade. You know, the tune of Kyron, Pacheco, etc. And would I potentially look to use a wide receiver? Not really. I like your wide receivers. I think I'm trying to work a running back move. Maybe you're upgrading Njoku, so Henry or Brian Robinson Jr. to get Laporta, McBride even. Kincaid's cheaper, so I don't necessarily overpay for Kincaid. I'd give up the Najee Harris type player for Kincaid, and I think that gets it done, like that type of move versus the Double move where you have to overpay a little bit. $9 hauler from $10 hauler from Sirius, Allen, Brees, Mason, Dell, MHJ, Chase, Higgins. Higgins to the panic chamber, absolutely. Higgins is an absolute panic, bro. Higgins should have never been drafted. Told you that. Higgins and Brian Robinson Jr. for Pacheco, Walker, Jacobs, doubted Jacobs too. MHJ would be fantastic. DK Metcalf. Throw all of that at somebody, and don't be afraid to kind of overpay with a bench piece. You know, like even if it's 3 for 1. Some people don't like 3 for 1. Some people do. Gunner, any moves with this team? Hurts, Kyron, JT, Olave. I'm on Rob Pitts, Jordan Mason. Love Jordan Mason. Maybe I'm shopping Jordan Mason and BT together to get maybe that Pacheco. Nah, Jordan Mason, BT. Maybe higher than that. Kyron, you got. Achane, JT, you got. God, you got all the players I want to go get at running back. I mean, let's see wide receiver. Olave. Jamar Chase. Olave and Mason for Jamar Chase. Olave and Mason for St. Brown, potentially. Olave and, I mean, you could even keep Olave and just go Jordan Mason and BT for those guys as well. You could start there, Gunner, but you should be able to get a St. Brown who's very much doubted right now, or a MHJ straight up for one of those players, you know. Hurts, Taylor, Mike Evans, Devontae Smith, Kincaid. Should I trade Gibbs and Coleman for Worthy and Achane? I would take Worthy and Achane. I love Gibbs. He's fantastic, bro, but I would smash that trade. I think you're getting 2 monsters there. Trade Eckler for Wright. I absolutely yeah. Take a lap for asking, Cody, but then pat yourself on the back while you're lapping and getting that potential league winner, my guy. Cole with a $20 hauler. Sirius with a $20 hauler, dropping loads all over the place here. Sirius says, Smitty, I loved you, but you didn't really, my last super chat, you skimmed it. Please see, look over. Okay, hold on, Sirius. Sirius, here we go. One more of a look-see right here for you. Josh Allen, Brees, Stevenson, Mason, Wright, Sharps, Braylon Allen, MHJ, Dell, Chase, Higgins, D-Hop. Just traded away Brian Robinson Jr. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see that bottom part. My fault. I sometimes I stop and I give advice and I forget that I hadn't read the rest of it. Just traded away Brian Robinson Jr. and Ayuk for Jamar Chase. No, I think maybe I didn't see that part. I saw the panicked Higgins situation. Yeah. So Brian Robinson Jr. and Ayuk for Jamar Chase. If there was vetoes, and I hope there aren't because I hate vetoes, I'd be scared that this gets vetoed because that's a smash. Like you blasted him in that trade. So congrats on that. Do I try and trade Higgins and Higgins and Stevenson, bro. Higgins and Stevenson for that Achane, Kyron, Pacheco even. JT. I mean, you got Mason and Wright. You could use the 0 RB approach with this and trade Stevenson still away. You could go Stevenson and Higgins, and you could still go get a monster wide receiver like St. Brown. Higgins and Stevenson for St. Brown? Try it. Why not? What's the worst that could happen? They reject it? I mean, you just got Jamar Chase for the same kind of like crazy steal value, you know what I'm saying? Cole with a $20 hauler. Cole, we call him $20 Cole. 10-team PPR, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, and a flex. Any moves? Stroud, Walker, CMC, Pittman, Nico, Keenan, Worthy, bench, Mason, T. Get rid of T. Trade T. Get rid of him. Love the show so far. The show loves you back, Cole. A little offended that you only gave it a little leeway so far. But I'm just kidding. Show loves you back. Cole, I would say I'm trading T. Higgins. Your little T. Trade your little T. Higgins. And God, I mean, CMC's a concern, but you got Mason. You know, so it's like you're covered. I would explore trading CMC without trading Mason. Just see if you can find some crazy wild man in your league. I wonder if you could trade CMC, the ambulance chaser in your league, without giving Mason and get a Kyron or an Achane or a JT or something to that degree. I really would explore it. CMC could be back though. You know, so it's hard to trade them. It really is. If you've got Mason, it's a very safe situation potentially, but it also could make you, lose sleep at night. It's hard to know. I think that you've got a little bit of trade value in T. Higgins to throw at, let's say, Pittman, T. Higgins together. Hard to trade 2 wide receivers, but Pittman's and T. Higgins together for a slight upgrade like London. I even consider MHJ a huge upgrade. I know people are jumping off the MHJ train. It makes me laugh. Pittman and T for St. Brown. Pittman and T for London. Pittman and T for MHJ. Pittman and T for Debo. Obviously, Cooper Kupp's out the window now. But those are things I'd try and do, I guess. I'd throw in Keenan Allen if I needed to. Pittman and you could do the same thing with Walker. Walker and T for maybe like a Pacheco if you want to go safer. A JT type, a Kyron Achane. Those are all good moves, Cole. Those would be good. The running back moves I like more than what I just said earlier. Go with the running back upgrade there. This is from Tatered Sandwich. $20 hauler. Any moves? If you guys are waiting for me to get your super chat, I'm going to try and get to it as fast as I can. Picked up Wright, Mason, free agent dropped Deontay Johnson and Chuba to get it done. Yeah, I agree with that. As far as like maneuvers to make, I mean, Kyron, Jordan Mason, CD, Rice, Laporta, MHJ. I love your team. The only thing I'm even considering doing is trading T. Higgins and Monty together to get one better, bigger, stronger bench piece, or to use T or to use Monty to upgrade Lamar into Mahomes, Josh Allen, or Jalen Hurts. Specifically Mahomes or Josh Allen too, though. That's what I would focus on with that team. It's a very good squad. You don't need to do a single thing with anybody but the QB situation. And I'm not saying that Lamar's trash, but I just think that's a good move personally. This one here from Cole. I think I've already got this one from Cole. Yes, love the show so far. Yeah, I got that one. Cole, appreciate you dropping the $20 wad. All right, back to the top. Yoda, appreciate you, Yoda, coming in strong, my guy. Yoda says AR5, Tua, Gibbs, Achane, Bigsby, Dowdle. Good little squad here. Love the show. Show loves you back. AR5, Gibbs, Achane, Chase. I like this team. I'm not moving much at all, if anything. Maybe J-Mo can help upgrade. Jonathan Brooks and J-Mo for a Pacheco. Jonathan Brooks and J-Mo for a JT, a St. Brown, a potential London, a potential Jamar Chase. I think those are all good moves. Oh, you got Jamar Chase already. I don't think I even want to upgrade AR5. I mean, you could use Brooks or J-Mo to upgrade Pitts into a Laporta. Yoda, those would be my moves, my maneuvers for now, at least. What do I start? Who do I start? Mahomes, Bijan, Chase Brown, Braylon Allen, Brooks, Zamir. So right now I'm still rolling with Chase Brown in this scenario as your RB2. Obviously, you know Bijan and Mahomes. And then Olave and probably, Higgins is out. Olave and Keon Coleman and Lad probably now. Yoshivasa, I think, is still going to be valuable, but Lad, I guess. And then Laporta. And if you could throw Likely in the flex over Lad, I probably would, if that's the case. If you have to start 3 wide receivers, then you have my answer there. And then you're trying to trade Likely and Higgins or Likely and Brooks for one upgrade running back like Pacheco, or, even at Walker, somebody I consider. What's your opinion on Puka versus MHJ? I would take MHJ 100 times out of 100 over Puka Nacua, who's missing more than 4 games. Puka's now out, most likely 5, 6, 7 games. Trade Brian Thomas Jr. for Devontae Smith. I would take Devontae Smith in a millisecond, my man. Chase for CMC, too much. I'd rather have Jamar Chase right now. CMC, we don't know what in the hell. If you're getting Mason, maybe there's an argument to be made, but even then, I think I'd take Jamar Chase. Should I trade Godwin and Brian Robinson for Walker? Yes. What other running backs could you target? Pacheco. JT's a tall order, but ask. Kyron Achane, ask. Jacobs, probably enough, I think, especially with Jordan Love coming back. That's about where you maybe draw the line. Already have Burrow, Cup, Chase, London, Coleman, Kyron, Mason. There you go. Hill and McBride. So McBride, Kyron, Mason, you're looking good right now. You could explore trading Mason and Godwin away for a Achane or JT or St. Brown or Jamar Chase, or even a London could be involved in a trade, but I don't know that I'd give up Mason and a player like, you got London. So I guess hold off on. I would say Mason. I'm tempted to trade Mason, though. I'm tempted to see what I can get. I've seen people get McBride straight up. I love that. Although, there's value in holding Mason. I've seen people get London straight up. You already have London. I've seen people get MHJ straight up. I think some people might rather have Mason than MHJ, but not me. I think MHJ is getting discounted unnecessarily. I don't understand it. Trade Brian Robinson for Mahomes. Yeah. I have Hall, Jacobs, Mark Cleveland. If you trade Brian Robinson, this is not Bijan Robinson. This is Brian Robinson for Mahomes. You have Hall and Jacobs and Mason. You trade Brian Robinson for Mahomes, I'm going to be baffled. If that's Bijan Robinson, you mean, hell no. But if that's Brian Robinson, I'm going to say that it gets vetoed, Mark, in your league. Ben Tennant, running back. Trade Brian Robinson for Mahomes. That's crazy. If you pull that off, Mark, that is an absolute insane trade. And it's going to get vetoed probably in your league because you have vetoes in your league. If I remember correctly, in that particular league that you're talking about, you have vetoes. Need help? Trade away Barkley for Kyron and Corum and Neighbors. Yeah, I do that. I do that. Neighbors / London. So you get your pick. I'd take either wide receiver. Maybe I'd take Neighbors over London right now. Oh, just right now. That doesn't mean I'm doubting London to the degree everybody else is, but I understand that Neighbors has got value. I'm definitely doing that trade. Kyron Corum and Neighbors. Kyron Corum and London, or London, I don't care. Don't need a wide receiver, but I'm hesitant. I have Pickens. If you don't need a wide receiver, and you do, Pickens, Godwin, Cup. Oh, JJ. I still like Kyron as much as Barkley though. So I do it, and then you maybe have some trade value to send elsewhere in another trade. So I still do it. Demarcus Robinson, a wide receiver 2 with no Puka, maybe 7 to 9 targets a game. I wouldn't say wide receiver 2, G-Men, but I'd say an elite wide receiver 3 is possible. Your only concern would be, is Whittington the guy? Because we have them all ranked neck and neck and neck. Johnson could be the guy. So we don't fully know. I would say if he was guaranteed to get all the work, it would be a different story. But that's not the case. We don't fully know who's going to get the volume that's needed for that. Trade JD5 and Mixon for Josh Allen? Absolutely, I'd take Josh Allen, and I love JD5. Now your team is so... Yeah, you did a good job. Good job. Allen is just an absolute boss when it comes to scoring fantasy points, bro. Unlike no other. Start 2 players, Reed, Coleman, Wright at my flex. It's Reed and Wright, assuming Wright's starting. You're a Mostert or monster. You're a monster. I thought that said Mostert for a second. All those R's and the exclamation point kind of blurred on my screen to look like Mostert. You're a Mostert. I'm like, that's not very nice. You know it all, Magic Man. Thank you, Miles. Appreciate you. I'm a Mostert. Myra with another $20 hauler to Mars.
To Mars.
To Saturn, to Moon, to the moon.
To
all of those things. Hey, brother, had to dip. I got Nico for London straight up. Also, I got AJB and Monty for Jacobs. Devontae Smith have Gibbs. I got AJ Brown and Monty for Jacobs. Devontae Smith, you have Gibbs. Okay, thank God you didn't throw Gibbs in. So you got the AJ Brown and Monty for Jacobs and Smith. I like AJ Brown, and I was saying earlier, I like AJ Brown and Monty a little bit more. I do. So I think you did good on that. I think it's one of those trades where I don't think you blasted the other owner because there's still a lot of value on both sides, but I do lean in the direction of the AJ Brown side. Hurts, Bijan, Monty, MHJ, Debo, Andrews, Worthy, DJ Moore. I'm trading DJ Moore if I can. Monty and DJ Moore for one better player seems like an attractive package. Wright and DJ Moore for one better player. J.K. Dobbins, actually, you could probably leave Monty alone. You could go DJ Moore and J.K. Dobbins for one better player, like a Pacheco, like a freaking Debo, or a London, or even potentially an MHJ, who is getting discounted like crazy. You might be able to trade J.K. Dobbins alone for MHJ, and I would try that. Try DJ Moore for MHJ. Try doing just the 1-for-1. Throw Ridley in. Keep JK maybe and throw Ridley in instead. Those are moves I'm making. I'm going and getting MHJ. Oh, you got MHJ. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. London. Do you have London? Tell me you don't have London. London. St. Brown. Jamar Chase. I think maybe you can do the JK and DJ Moore for St. Brown right now. People are running away from St. Brown. Jamar Chase might cost a little more. Would I do, you might go rogue at tight end and get rid of Andrews and DJ Moore together to try and get a St. Brown type or Jamar Chase type and throw in the three, do the three of them for a Jamar Chase. I would. I'm not scared. Miles with a $4.99. Appreciate you. 12-team half PPR, Gibbs, HN, Cup, Dell, Richardson, Kincaid, Reed, Wright. I'm getting to all the super chats. I didn't miss anybody's super chat. I'm just, there's a line of them here. It's a good problem to have, but there's a line of them. So let's be patient. It's like that restaurant that's got a packed house, but it's great once you get to the table. Quorum trade for MHJ. So Quorum trade for MHJ. Yeah, I would trade for MHJ. I would definitely trade for MHJ. Reed's going to get his quarterback back sooner. I like this team. I'm not trading any of the starters. Can any of the bench players get you MHJ? I guess if someone needed Fields, if someone needed Wright might have value enough soon to get MHJ. But maybe I don't trade Reed. I don't trade Richardson, Dell. I don't think I want to trade any of those players. So I'm waiting on Wright to get you value enough to get MHJ, and then I would do that. But I think I stand down for the most part with your team because I really like all those players. Let it play out for a week. 12-man PPR: Kyler, Pacheco, Zach Moss. Maybe you can upgrade that. Pittman and Moss, Ayuk and Moss together for a Pacheco, Achane, Kyron, JT. I mean, Moss is okay. I don't hate keeping it, but and as far as your bench, there's not much to go on here. Maybe Moss for Connor, just because you have Benson, might be a little more secure for you. You already have Pacheco. I'd probably take Connor over Zach Moss. That's probably what my angle is. Or you're trading the Connor owner Benson to figure out something else with, Zach Moss and Connor, or a wide receiver in Moss or Benson and a receiver to the Connor owner for something. Trade Jordan Mason to the CMC owner for JK. No. I like JK, but I like Mason better. I have Achane, Jalen Wright, and Chase Brown stacked at wide receiver. I don't think so. JK I don't trust enough to stay healthy, and he's still in a committee, even though he's probably the lead dog there. I think Jordan Mason stays in a committee as much as Jacobs, or as much as JK all year long. $10 hauler, trader Brian Robinson for Mahomes. I have Hall, Jacobs, and Mason at running back. I have T-Law at QB. T-Law is a rough QB for sure. Trade Brian Robinson for Mahomes. Yes, you got it. I mean, this is a no-brainer, Mark. As I said earlier, you might have missed the other comment I made, but I don't think it's even going to go through. But if it does, it's an absolute steal. It replaced T-Law. I don't even care if you're going, to the waiver wire to replace your running back. I'm taking Mahomes in that situation. It's a home run slam dunk. Please set my lineup: 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. MHJ Tank. There you go. Bijan and God, this is hard. Bijan and Connor, MHJ and Tank, and then it's between JMO and Jacobs and BT. I mean, come on. I guess you're gonna go JMO right now, but would I trade 1 or 2 of those guys, maybe all 3, for one bigger, stronger Kyron, St. Brown, Chase? Absolutely. And you might get it done. Tough to say. JT as well, Ian. You got a problem there. I don't know if anybody's going to trade in that league. You guys all probably have depth, but I would try. Tyler says, let's see if you can see. Let's see if you get this right. Tyreek or Bijan rest of season. I mean, it depends, bro. It depends on your situation. If you're telling me just who's going to score more points, I mean, Tyreek is older. He can miss games. Bijan is taking the torch. He had the volume to be the number 1 overall running back, proven by week 1's volume. I think at the end of the day, Tyreek's a little bit safer to be the higher scorer. But when we're talking about roster construction, it changes the game a little bit. Like, would I trade Tyreek for Bijan if I could get a Dell or I could get some sort of upgrade? I'd rather have that scenario than have Tyreek alone. But in terms of 1-for-1, let's see if you can get this right. I think that there's arguments to make on both sides, but Tyreek's older. The injury risk involved makes this maybe more even than you think, because I think you're about to say that it should be. I don't know if you think there's some sort of gotcha question here, Tyler, but you're still supposed to go get my coffee earlier, and I'm still waiting, Tyler. Appreciate your super chat. This one from GK. Appreciate GK earlier. I think you dropped another one. Murray, Wilson, Godwin, BT, Gibbs, Jacobs, Walker, B. Rob, Wright, Bucky, Irving, Bigsby, Andrews, Likely, 1 point per rush as well. Damn. I would say Murray, maybe Godwin and Jacobs, Godwin and Walker, Godwin and B-Rob. That way you don't have to touch any of that other talent that I like Walker and Jacobs, because I kind of like them. B-Rob and Godwin for just a slight upgrade, my guy. Throw in Andrews likely. Maybe you go to the teams that need a tight end badly and target those teams specifically with this offer, and you do a 3-for-1. Easy peasy, my boy. 0.5, 150 fab per team. How much should I drop to pick up Javonte Williams? I don't know. 0? You know, keep your fab, bro. What if Ray Davis is the starter in week 4 and you got to drop 150 on him? I mean, Javonte, if this is a league where, this is a hot commodity in your particular league and you could trade him for the world, which I just don't see. 0. I put a 0 bid in for him, and I try and land him at 0. I mean, he was cut, obviously, for a reason, too, right? You know, maybe he made a mistake, but an estimate going on IR for 4 weeks, it's definitely a plus, but I don't know that I'm racing to get Javonte and spending valuable fab dollars. Is Dell and Worthy a hold? Is Dell and Worthy a hold, Brandon? Of course Dell and Worthy are holds. These are monsters. Dell and Worthy are top 15 potential wide receivers, or shop them for MHJ. I love MHJ, though. But honestly, I like Dell and Worthy enough that I don't need to trade them. I do like MHJ. Would I trade Dell for MHJ? Probably. Would I trade Worthy for him? No. I think Worthy's in a tier that is high-end wide receiver 1 potential. Drop Wright, Chase Brown, or Rico for Tajay Spears. What in the heck? Irvin, I'm only being hard on you just so you understand the passion behind my answer, so you don't make a mistake. I'm saving lives here. You asking if you should drop Jalen Wright for Tajay Spears is like going to a company that's developing electric cars for the first time. They haven't released anything. It's taken a long time. Boom. News breaks. The stock's about to split. They're going to produce a car. Pre-orders are coming in. They're about to announce it, and you say, I'm going to pull out of the stock that I've been sitting in for 2 years. I'm going to exit right now. I'm just going to go out the back door right when it's about to drop. This is Irvin, this is you trying to break up with Jalen Wright before he breaks up with you. This is an insane thing to think about. Walking away from Wright when he's on the graphic here. He's on the thumbnail. He's going to the moon. Him and Achane are going to get unleashed. I don't know what we're doing here. Now, would I drop Rico? I'm not dropping Chase Brown. I don't care what anybody says. After 1 week, we're freaking out. No. Rico for Tajay? So, sure. But is there a scenario where Rico outscores Tajay? Could. Remember, Tajay's got 1 ACL. Not to say that that's, bad thing, I guess. He's less to tear, but will he be a long-term between the tackles running back in the National Football League? Not that this is a dynasty question, I don't think, but I don't know. I think Rico, I'd probably take Tajay over Rico in PPR. 12 PPR, have any moves to make? Mahomes, Gibbs, Kyron, Debo, Dell, Coleman, Jamison, Williams, McBride, Trey, Benson, Chase Brown, Dunze, Ronnie Rivers. Good team. Probably say get, no.
Alert. Stand down order in effect.
I mean, I would just throw things at the wall for you if I thought that there was a move to make, but there isn't. I don't want you to get rid of a single starter you have unless you're upgrading Coleman, and I don't think you're going to with your bench, unfortunately. No offense, but there's nothing there. But your lineup is stacked to the rafters. Like, everything you have is put into the lineup. This is an 8.0 lineup, so you're a fantastic squad here. Let Keon earn his keep, and I think, even though he's your weak link, supposedly, he'll be a pretty damn good player for you, so I'm not doing that. Thank you again for, who is that, Irvin, for your question. I hope that you took that in a positive fashion, Irvin. Appreciate you. All right, here we go. Bobby, $10 holler. from England to the house. Appreciate your thoughts on my team. Kyler, yep. Bijan, I'm trying to trade potentially. You got Mason. That's good. Okay, so Mason's. I'm trying to maybe trade James Cook or Mason. Maybe you got Jalen Wright. You got a lot of potential with the running backs, though. Nice job. It's a successful 0 RB look. Flowers, McLaurin, Reed. I like Reed a lot. Reed's going to get his quarterback back. Jamison Williams. You've got a really good team, McBride. What you need to do is consolidate a little bit. Flowers and James Cook for 1. JT, Achane, Kyron, maybe Pacheco. Gibbs, obviously. Mason would be somebody I'd also include in that if you get to get like a Gibbs or to get a monster. Honestly, I think you make that move, you turn that team into a 8.3, 8.4 instead of being like a borderline 8, maybe 7.9. 14 team PPR. Prescott, Barkley, Cook, Nacua, Kirk, McBride. How to use Dobbins and recover wide receiver post Puka Nacua. Dobbins and Kirk for, Dobbins for London, Dobbins for MHJ, Kirk for MHJ, Kirk for, obviously try those things. You got to throw in Jigba. I do that, but Dobbins could get this done. Dobbins and Kirk can get you a St. Brown maybe. Dobbins and Kirk could easily get you a MHJ, and I probably just do one. Dobbins and Kirk could get you maybe a Debo. Debo's valued high, but people seem to want to trade him at the same time. It's weird. I don't know if they're fearing injury with them or what. Trying to sell before the injury happens or something. Waddle for MHJ. Waddle's got more value. As much as I love buying low on MHJ, this is not buying low. If so, would you give more? No, Mad Max, you need to get more. Also, how about Chase Brown for Sharbs? I'd rather have Charbonnet right now, given the situation with Kenneth Walker, but that could change really quickly. Rice, Higgins, BT. I'd trade Higgins and go to the Walker owner, see if you can trade Sharbs and Higgins for something small. Potentially, maybe use Higgins to do a 2-for-2 in the Waddle MHJ trade. So if you give Higgins and Waddle, maybe you get MHJ and Tank Dell or something, upgrade the wide receiver, and that way I don't care about the little bit of a tiny downgrade of Waddle to MHJ, which I think, it does feel like a downgrade for market value wise, but I do quietly think MHJ could be as good, if not better, obviously. My Mason and Coleman for Nico Collins and Laporta. Let me just put it this way. I would do that trade almost straight up for either one of those guys, and you're getting both of them. So Ozzy, you're blasting them into oblivion. David, appreciate you. 12-man PPR. Madison, CMC, Swift, Ray Davis, Mostert, Diggs, Devontae Smith, Godwin, Higgins, trade Higgins away. Got offered Eckler and Waddle and Achane for CMC, Godwin, and Swift. Got Eckler, Waddle, and Achane. So Waddle and Achane and CMC, Godwin, Swift. I take Achane and Waddle over CMC, Godwin. I do that, David. I take that. I don't know if you can move around those other pieces a little bit, get somebody else different, but if you can, I don't mess with it to have the deal fall through. Got offered Kittle and Ray Davis for Andrews and Corum. I guess I like Kittle and Ray Davis a little bit better, but it's pretty even. Andrews is not somebody that got benched or anything, and he was double teamed the entire game in week 1, and so there's some thought that he could be better, right? So, but Kittle I like a little bit better, I guess. I traded Godwin and Dobbins for MHJ. I think that's an absolute smash. Smitty approved the heck out of that one. Racing Boy traded Mostert and A.D. Mitchell for Keon Coleman. To be honest with you, I think Coleman and A.D. are pretty close right now for redraft. So I think A.D. Mitchell is going to be an absolute superstar, potentially. I think Keon Coleman could be as well, obviously. So it's close. But I think right now, it's pretty even. I think it's just even. I think it's just dead even. I think Coleman's could be as good. Coleman was the number one wide receiver for the Bills in the box score coming out of week 1. A.D. Mitchell should have had 2 touchdowns and 100 yards. He would have. And he would have been the worthy of the week. People would have been like, this is Xavier Worthy. Who's better? It would have been that good for A.D. Mitchell. Who should I pick up off waivers to stash? Highest upside regardless of position. 80 Mitchell, Chase Brown, Ray Davis. Probably 80 Mitchell. Or Benson. Benson's pretty good. 80 Mitchell or Benson. Probably 80 Mitchell for now. Benson's pretty damn good, though. Regardless of position, that's a hard question to answer because position does matter so much. But Benson's pretty damn good. I'll go either way. Dell or MHJ. I'm leaning MHJ. Squeaky wheel. I would say MHJ. Yeah, definitely. I mean, 1 week's not going to change his second round value. So, Kid dropped J.K. Dobbins. How much fab? This is a tough one. Chad, are we doing like a 50% drop on J.K. or are we assuming he gets injured? The thing that I would love about this situation is maybe you could trade him. So let's let the chat drop their opinion. Can we get a vote on this one, peeps? Can we get a what are you doing on J.K. fab wise? Percentage wise, if you had to guess, everybody's situation is different, but let's see if we can give them some support on this one. Z, we got you here starting Fields over Burrow this week. I don't blame you. How concerned are you with Burrow right now? Go back and watch my Burrow clip. Not concerned. He said he's getting better every day, and this is just him stretching it out. You know, he's probably still got some tightness in his wrist that isn't ready yet. You know, to be completely out of the picture. Like he said, there's no injury. Trade Puka and Xavier Worthy for MHJ. Absolutely not. I'd rather have Worthy than MHJ right now, and that's not a knock on MHJ. That's an upside thing for Worthy. And you're going to throw Puka in, who eventually will be back. Puka's a good buy. I venture to say we do a Panic Chamber episode tonight or tomorrow on Puka. There will be a scenario in that segment, a conversation piece where we're buying Puka at this kind of, let's throw him into a trade value. Worthy, don't trade Worthy. Don't trade Puka. Not like that. B.A., Pickens, Reed, Singletary, Wright, Lockett on the bench, Mason in the flex. Starting lineup is stacked. 80 Brown on waivers. Any moves? Trade thoughts? I would probably say you got to go get 80 Mitchell if possible. Lockett, I like him well over Lockett or Singletary. As far as trades, I'm trying to get rid of B.A. and probably Pickens maybe. If I can upgrade into a MHJ right now. If I could upgrade into a London right now, a St. Brown right now. So try and get MHJ almost for pennies on the dollar because it sounds like people are literally undervaluing MHJ like crazy. Kevin with the super picked up Jalen Wright in 3 leagues. Let's go. Appreciate you. My guy dropping the super chat. You monster you. Who dat Lolo with the $9.99. Sup Smitty. Need a decent running back too because of Peyton does not like Javonte. Would you trade Kyler or Jaden Daniels for Swift? I don't like Swift, so the answer is no. I also asked him about Pollard. No, these are guys I don't like. I'm not trading that kind of asset that could get you something later for a running back I don't like. Jacobs is underrated right now. Jalen Wright is underrated right now, even though he's hard to probably acquire in this moment in time, but he's certainly better than those guys in my opinion. I think Kenneth Walker's underrated because he's injured right now. I think I go in those directions and I do what I got to do, but there's no way I'm trading for DeAndre Swift right now. I think DeAndre Swift potentially falls off the face of the earth eventually. Drop Chase Brown for Jalen Wright. You should have already done it. Even though I love Chase Brown, you should have already done that. We've only talked about it for freaking 48 straight hours. Do it live, do it now, do it well. Sammy, appreciate you. Should I pick up Mayfield from waivers or should I trade Jerome Ford for Jaden Daniels? Trade Jerome Ford for Jaden Daniels, please. Please do that and do that fast. And then come back and we'll celebrate. Lucas, appreciate you. Any moves I should make? JD5, running backs, Gibbs, Kyron, Mixon, Mason, wide receivers, DK, Devontae Smith, Dell, McLaurin, 80 Mitchell. Maybe McLaurin, maybe you can't get anything yet. DK, Devontae Smith, one of those guys. I keep Dell with Mixon to get one bigger monster, whether it's Jamar Chase, St. Brown, JT, Achane, etc. I'm throwing it all at the wall on that one, Lucas. I bet you get one of those. I truly do. Jeremy, appreciate you. Laporta and Stevenson for Kyron and Andrews. I'm going to take Kyron and Andrews, believe it or not. I think Andrews is not completely gone, and you could always flip him, but I want Kyron. Would you drop Gus Edwards off waivers for Jalen Wright? Yes, I wouldn't even draft Gus Edwards. And Jalen Wright is a league winner on the screen here, graphic-wise. The answer is yes. Of course I'm doing that. What are we doing here? Hey, Smitty, 14-team league. Thank you for the super chat, by the way, though. Daniels, wide receiver, A.J. Brown, Cup, Ladd, Shakir, Pierce. So what are we doing here? 14-team, Jaden Daniels. I assume this is a super flex. Oscar, I assume this is a super flex. I mean, Oscar's got this running backs, Jacob, Swift, Ford, McBride. I got offered AR5 and 80 Mitchell for Jaden Daniels and Swift. I'd take AR5 and 80 Mitchell. I do. I love Jaden Daniels. I do, but I love 80 Mitchell. In a 14 team, you could use this. And look, I mean, AR5 is unbelievable. He's unbelievable. I love JD5. They're both top 5 running backs right now. Both 5s are in the top 5. Both 5s are in the top 5. That's remarkable to say. Both of the 5s.
There are 2 5s? JD5, AR5? There can't be.
Oh no.
They're gonna cross streams.
All right. So on this particular trade, Oscar, let's see here. Yeah, smash that. And you got a good team. I mean, you got to get rid of one of those quarterbacks. It was a good move for you to do. I wouldn't have recommended it on draft day to grab 2 QBs, but if you can pull it off, I mean, it's fine. I think you had 2 QBs, right? Oh, you still got to get rid of one, maybe. Dak, Jaden Daniels. It must be a 2 QB, though. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, then yeah, it's a smash. Mozart, appreciate you. Likely and Hollywood Brown for Rice. Yes. Likely and Hurts for Josh Allen. No, I'd rather go with the Likely Brown for Rice. That's a really good trade, man. I do that. And Hurts is still potentially got #1 overall QB upside. Drop my kicker for Wright. Excellent job. Cut who if you couldn't find a deal. Probably going to say your worst player is Spears. And smash Ridley and Pickens for Worthy and London. Ridley and Pickens. I'd rather have Worthy and London. Oh, man, Mark. Did you really do that? Or do you hopefully the other way around, you mean? Smash Ridley and Pickens for Worthy and London. If you got Worthy and London, then I'm happy for you. Because Worthy and London is a home run on that trade. You're the GOAT. No, you're the GOAT. Lots of love, streams. Thank you. Appreciate you, Anthony. Anthony to the moon. J-Dog, appreciate you. Rate my team. Let me see if there's any $20 haulers that have come in. Because they get, unfortunately, for everybody in line, immediate attention. I'm sorry. George coming in with a $20 hauler. George, you get immediate attention. You jumped the line, pal. George got the fast pass. George says a lot. Trade Mason for DK this morning. I don't mind that at all. Thoughts on Downs? Downs is okay rest of the season. I like him, but he's not anything to be too excited about. Drop Wilson, Mooney for Downs, Mitchell, Davis, Benson. I'd drop Mooney for Mitchell, and I'd drop Wilson for Davis or Benson. Probably Benson. I don't think I'd leave Benson out there. And your team's good. I mean, Gibbs, Walker, Garrett Wilson, Cup, DK, Worthy, Kincaid. I'm not moving a single thing on that in that lineup, and I'm just you don't have a lot to trade on the bench, so you're kind of waiting on Wright to gain some value. Stand down, ride that team into the sunrise. Rate my team: Hall, Allen, Achane, Mostert, Wright. Nice job. Ford, like it. Chase Brown, Collins, Dell, Coleman. Andrews, QBs, Mahomes, JD5, 12-man, 1 QB. So maybe JD5 and Coleman, or JD5 and Nico, or JD5 and Dell, just a slight upgrade, or JD5 and Andrews for Kincaid, McBride, or Laporta. Past that, bro, you were good to go. I think I hold that team minus those small little maneuvers potentially. All right, this one here, you're the GOAT, love the live streams, the best. Thank you, Andrew. I think I just read that one, but I didn't mind reading it again. Someone sent me Kyron for Cup. It's crazy how much value Cup has now. Crazy how much value.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars men. tempos dropping, spinning games.
I don't know. I think Kupp is almost untouchable at this point, my guy. He really is. I would probably say right now Kupp is top 5, maybe a top 5 player. Now, could he get hurt? Sure. So could Kyren. I have Wilson, Rice, Tank, Keon. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Your running backs, Taylor, Moss, Mostert. Of course, league winner, Mahomes leading it all. That's a good squad. Guys, are we trading Kupp for Kyren? Can you guys drop the emoji of choice? Who would you rather have right now, Kupp or Kyren? Drop the emoji of choice. Let's see if the emojis overwhelm. I'm pretty sure you're going to see Kupp emojis like crazy. Some Kyren, and we love Kyren. The fact you can buy Kyren low is good news, but I think we're going to see nothing but Kupp emojis. I'm going to say stand down, son. I'm going to say stand down right now. With Puka out for maybe 4, 5, 6 weeks now. Definitely longer than expected. I think you probably hold on to Cooper Kupp, which is crazy to say, but it is what it is. Look at all the Kupp emojis; they're going like wildfire. What a land! What a land! So far, gotta be the thing we stand on. We're cooking on most and on this channel right now is the Cooper Kupp train. I mean, good Lord.
Let him cook.
Starters: Josh Allen, Kyren, Brian Robinson, CD, Tank, Laporta, Neighbors, Terry, McLaurin, bench, JD5, Mostert, Worthy. Why is Mamba? Why is Worthy on your bench? What are you doing putting Worthy on your bench? Why do you have Scary Terry? No offense to him, in your lineup over Worthy. What are we doing? I don't know that you deserve to own Worthy, Mamba. I might take away your Bijan card for this. Drop Mostert for a Dunze. Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with that. But you need to, first of all, you need to make a trade potentially to maybe Brian Robinson and Terry for one player. You know, maybe just slightly upgrade Walker, Pacheco. But you need to get Worthy in your lineup, bro. You need to get Worthy in your lineup in your lineup now. This is a reckless use of the resources on this roster. You need quality assurance, quality control. To look over your roster for the next 6 months is my order here by the court. Do I drop Benson for Wright or Chase Brown? You can't. You got to take Wright. Wright he's on the graphic. He's on the graphic. Jalen Wright. The answer is Jalen Wright. Right. Or Mario? Right. Do it live. Brian, appreciate you. Trade. It's Kyren Williams and Mason Ford, Brian Robinson, and Laporta. Ask for more. I don't ask for more. I don't want that trade. I don't want Brian Robinson. I don't want. I like Jerome Ford, but I don't need. You got Kyren Williams, and I don't know. You have CMC, Javonte, Waddle, Caleb. Who's your tight end here? I mean, can you pick somebody up off waivers? I don't do this trade. Absolutely not. I don't ask for more. I don't want it. I'm not going near trading Kyren and Mason away. Would I trade Mason away for like a McBride if you're trying to get a tight end situation, you know, tied down without losing Kyren Williams, a potential top 5 running back? 8-man league, rate the changes for week 2. Thanks. Rate the changes for week 2. And changes. Murray, Evans, Worthy, Hall, Kyren, Kincaid, Flex, Ford, Pickens. Yeah. If Wright goes in as the lone starter, Wright goes in over Ford, but that's it, really. I mean, Pickens and Ford is close, but you got it all right. That's really good. Good squad. I'd say 8.0. Really good team. Thanks for the $10 hauler. But definitely keep tabs on Wright. If he's a lone starter, meaning Achane's out and he's starting, then Wright's going to have a Jordan Mason game. 2 QB, Mahomes, JD5, excellent. Bijan, Jacobs, Connor, Benson. I'd be tempted to trade T. Law away in this 2 QB league because he's going to have some value that he won't have outside of 2 QB. Moves to make, drop Dobbs for Whittington. I'd probably say Whittington, I guess. But Demarcus Robinson feels like a little bit of the advantage goes to him walking into week number 2, but I do think Whittington's a guy they want to become that guy. I like this squad a lot. I think there's potential maybe to trade J-Mo on the high with Connor or Jacobs to go get that higher big name, second round type running back like JT or Kyron Achane, etc. But I definitely would consider trading J-Mo and maybe, let's say, J-Mo and Connor. I mean, even Pacheco is in the cards here. It's a high price to pay, but Pacheco might be worth it. And I love J-Mo, but this is a nice time to shop him. Got offered Amon-Ra for Mason, Neighbors, and Likely. Yeah, I'd probably take Amon-Ra, but bro, that is actually not like a smash and run. There's a lot involved in that, but I probably would say Amon-Ra. What's up, Smitty? Quick 8-man. Allen, Mason, you're not going to make trades in an 8-man league. No. First of all, people that play an 8-man, no offense, Jay, I'm not saying it's you, but the players you play with almost certainly are players that don't even respond to trade offers. Like, you barely got a crew together to play in an 8-man, and people are super active and love fantasy to the degree that I think you might, because you're here. They probably are not in this league, unfortunately. Maybe it's an active 8-man league. I don't know. Maybe you're in some desert, remote town, and you guys just, draft together, stay together, and you can't find any new people, but it's a solid group. It's possible. But this team right here, Allen, Bijan, Mason, Debo, Garrett Wilson, Kincaid, it's 8-man, so, you should be loaded. I don't think you got much to trade. Worthy's on your bench. You got to find a way to get Worthy in the lineup. So, man, maybe I'm trading Jacobs and Mason, and Jameson Williams, Jacobs and Kittle maybe even, since you got Kincaid. I don't know. Maybe Kittle might have some value because there's only so many good tight ends. I mean, in an 8-man league, everyone's got a good tight end, though, but it's going to be hard to make trades. I just don't think people are going to trade. But like Kittle, J-Mo, and Jacobs for one better player. Mason, Kittle. Go to the Christian McCaffrey owner. You could even try and acquire Christian McCaffrey. Why not? Why not? Get Worthy in your lineup. Trade Jacobs and Kittle and Ridley or J-Mo. Try and get CMC. Then you have CMC and Mason. Or try and trade Mason with Jacobs, Mason with J-Mo and Jacobs to get that slight upgrade at RB. And it could be something as slight as, I love JT Kyron Achane, but I'm taking potentially Mason for Pacheco and just using that bench to do that. But there's not a lot. You just need to try and get Worthy in your lineup. It's going to kill you to watch Worthy dominate. You're going to be so upset at yourself watching that play out. Smitty, 12-man league is Hurts, Hall, Kyron, Cup, Dell, Kincaid, Godwin, Ford, Stevenson trying to get MHJ. MHJ owner is considering trading him to me for Godwin and Ford. Should I smash that? Absolutely. I would take MHJ for that. We're giving up on MHJ, or when I say we, not me, but the world is too fast. Brian Thomas Jr. or Terry McLaurin this week. I'm going to go BT. It's close. I'll go BT, though. He just seems like he's in his bag right now, right away. Schultz or Parkinson. Schultz is injured, so we're going to go Park. But, it's close. It could be close each week. Would you trade Worthy and Ford for JT? Yes, I would, and I love Worthy, but I would take JT in that situation. Mahmood got D-Rob with 7% of $100 fab. I hope you're proud of me, Smitty. I am. I like D-Rob. I just want to make you proud. Well, you do. Jake Ferguson was foolishly dropped, got $89 left, $12 good. I suppose, that might make me proud again. Don't overspend on him, but he's definitely still a good player. But obviously he's banged up right now too, so you don't know. $9.99. My team: Hurts, CD, Cup, Debo, Nico Collins, Najee, Brian Robinson. I'm trading Brian Robinson and or Najee, trying to upgrade maybe just one player, right? So Nico Collins, would you trade Cup and Harris for Kamara and Xavier Worthy? If I like losing, I do. I'd trade Cup if I like losing, David. You just saw the whole chat, and I know that you put this message in before the chat rained Cooper Cup emojis. But yeah, you can't trade Cooper Cup for this. Cooper Cup's a top 5 overall player right now. So I'm going to say stand down and don't ever don't ever try and trade Cooper Kupp again. Good team, though, but that's not the path, my guy. Pick 3, Adams, Tank, B-Rob, ETN, or JK. I'm going to go Tank, I'm going to go Adams, and I'm going to go ETN. Anything can happen with that list of names, though, just so you know. G Money with a super chat says, hey, Smitty, would you trade away Nacua, Kincaid, Coleman for MHJ and Pitts? I'd rather have MHJ and Pitts. That's a good trade, my guy. Drop 3, 80 Mitchell, McLaughlin, DJ Moore, Chase Brown, Bucky. I'm dropping Bucky, Chase Brown, and McLaughlin. Even though McLaughlin maybe just got an increase in job duties, I just don't know. Any way to trade Puka and what for? Yeah, there's ways like Walker, Kenneth Walker, Pacheco, maybe Jacobs, who's kind of doubted, a Kincaid and McBride, especially McBride, Laporta, quarterback upgrade, go from a QB6 to like Mahomes. Those are the only ways to, I think, really attack that. Any moves? Hurts, Achane, Gibbs, MHJ, Ayuk, Javonte T. Brooks is always a good player to trade right now because people know what time it is with them. They understand. Brooks and Ayuk for one bigger, stronger player, JT. Just go down the gauntlet of players. 808, appreciate you. My Mason and Waddle or Dell for Laporta. I think Laporta is solid, bro, but I don't know if Mason and Waddle, or I think you're trading Mason and something very small for Laporta. Don't give this guy Mason for free, which is kind of how that feels. Should I offer Dak and Mason for Hurts or AR5? I think that like getting Hurts would be good. I think I would do that. AR5 probably. Should I trade Diggs for Ayuk? I'd rather have probably Diggs at this moment in time. Don't get mad at me, Niner fans. I just don't like Pickens and Mixon for Kenneth Walker in London. Give me Kenneth Walker in London, but it is very close, and some might disagree with me. I also have Tank Dell, says TJ. TJ, I have no idea where that other super chat is, but I love Tank Dell, so congratulations, and make sure you're starting that, young man, because I absolutely love him. Rockout says, got an offer, my JT and Pacheco for Worthy. My JT for Pacheco and Worthy. I'd probably take Pacheco and Worthy, Rockout. That's a pretty good haul right there. Love is back. If Love is back, Baker or Goff. Love if back, Baker or Goff. I would go probably Goff. Start Cooper or JMO. I'm going to go JMO. That one's pretty easy. Guy in my league, drop Puka. How much fab? Full load drop. Even though Puka's out a while, and probably a lot longer, I do full load drop on Puka. Trade Waddle and Coleman for Devontae Smith and Dell. I'd take Devontae Smith and Dell, and I would pretty much run away so I don't get vetoed. Keep one. I don't own cuffs. Warren, Benson, or Allen. Probably keeping, I would say, Warren could be so good if he gets all the work. I'd probably say Warren, but barely. I want to say Benson. Who should I start at flex? Monty, Dell, or Neighbors? I'm going to probably go Monty for safety, Dell for high upside. But it's really close. Was offered Lamar, MHJ for Pittman, and Dak. Pittman and Dak. Lamar and MHJ for Pittman and Dak. I take Lamar and MHJ pretty fast. Solid trade. Old Greg, is it worth keeping Hawkinson and Chubb on my bench? I don't know. Maybe not. Depends on the situation, but not really. Drop Hollywood Brown or 80 Mitchell for Ray Davis. No. I'm not saying I don't want Ray Davis, but I don't drop those guys. Those guys have tremendous value. What's up, Smitty? Trade Neighbors and my wide receiver 3 for Worthy. Depends who your wide receiver 3 is, but I like Worthy over Neighbors. I do. I know that's hard to hear for a Neighbors owner, but this isn't a dynasty conversation. Trade Amari plus likely and $30 fab for Ayuk. I don't think Ayuk is better than Amari by that much right now. I guess it's okay. If you like Ayuk, I'm okay with it, but it's not something I would do. I have Lamar and JD5. Should I trade Lamar? Absolutely. Trade Lamar for a doubted St. Brown. Trade him for a Debo. Trade him for a Pacheco. Trade him for an Achane, Kyron, for a DK Metcalf. for MHJ for London. Drop Zamir White or Javonte for Jalen Wright. Absolutely drop either one. I'd probably drop, I guess, Javonte over Zamir, even though Javonte may see increased workload because Estime's on IR, but I still don't know that matters. Trade Swift for JMO. I'd take JMO in a millisecond. And if you get both of these guys, that's unreal. That's a crazy, crazy trade. Got Stevenson and Pacheco, gave up Kelsey and Swift in a trade, and likely is my tight end. So I got Stevenson and Pacheco, gave up Kelsey and Swift. I like that trade a lot. That's a fantastic move. Very, very solid move. Very good move. Drops Charbonnet over Quorum for Mostert. Yeah, I can Smitty approve that. That's fine. That's fine. Trade Monty for Dell and Wright. I'd take Dell and Wright, but it's close and there's arguments to be made. And there's some predictions about Wright that are in there that I like. Trade Rashee Rice, Jordan Mason for my Ayuk. They're Rashee Rice and Jordan Mason for your Ayuk and Shaheed. I take Jordan Mason and Rice and I run as fast as I can. James Conner, Higgins, Najee for ETN BA. I'm taking ETN and BA. Very, very, very easily. Trade away Chase for Henry and Worthy. I'd rather have Jamar Chase by a hair. Trade away Xavier Worthy for Higgins and Benson. I'd rather have Worthy. Joshua with a $10 hauler, nothing attached. Joshua, I'll try and find your question later, but I definitely attach those guys. Rashee Rice, Jordan Mason for my Ayuk. Again, Jordan Mason and Rashee Rice, I take over that other side by a country mile. It was the opposite. I would receive Kyron and Mason. Okay, well, you can use, you know my response, but I appreciate you clarifying it. Trade B-Rob and Dobbins for Puka and Javonte. Thank you for that extra super chat to tell me that, though. I appreciate you, bro. Trade B-Rob and Dobbins for Puka and Javonte. I would take Puka and Javonte if you can afford to wait. Like, he's a good stash, bro. Pick up Eckler or Chase Brown. I'd probably take Chase Brown. I still believe in Chase Brown. Walker is out. If Walker is out, Ford or Brian Thomas Jr. Probably Ford for safety. I really like Ford. I think Ford is fantastic. Trade Ford and Coleman for MHJ. I would rather have MHJ. I do like Ford a lot, though. I hope people know that. This is a $20 hauler from 808 guy. Appreciate you. This one from Lil Sweet, dropping a super chat as well. Whoa. Where's my 808? I just took off the 808 guy. I'm sorry, 808. Let me go find you, pal. 808 guy. My bad. There you are. I got you. We're good. We're good, bro. Okay, Lil Sweet, thank you for dropping the super chat. I got you on screen as well. We've got Sloth with a $20 hauler. Sloth, I'm going to put you right there. Patrick, appreciate you. I got you right here. By the way, guys, we're going to be doing something quite amazing for $20 haulers going forward. It could slow things down. I don't want to cause that, but you know our Wild Wild West theme. You know, this is week 1. I'm going to do a week 2 Wild Wild West, but this isn't. We're going to start this probably tomorrow or the next day. But best hand in week number 1, or this will be week number 2, obviously. $20 haulers, I will evaluate your team. I will put your team on screen. Not your entire team. We're going to be listing off like the top 6 guys, putting your best hand forward, and then I will rate you whether you've got a royal flush, a potential straight, maybe you got a full house, maybe you've got no pairs or a pair, or maybe you should fold and use the code Underdog Fantasy. But this is coming, ladies and gentlemen. Your lineup in front of everyone's face. I will be putting all these names all over the screen for you as we... The Bears! The Bears! Look at Superman. Look at Superman. Mahomes. We got people all over the place just looking like monsters. Joe Burrow smoking a cigar. That's coming for your lineup analysis. Probably tomorrow or the next day. Week at running back, Hall, Monty, Chase Brown, Braylon Allen. Thinking of trying to trade Monty for Achane. I would too. definitely a great move. And if you got to give up a little bit more, I'm definitely throwing in like any bench fodder. Any bench fodder. Fodder. 1999, rate my team. 4 QB, Lawrence. 4 QB, oh, pick 4. Like 4 QB. Lawrence, I hate that. If you're in a 4 QB and Lawrence is your starter, you're in trouble. But you're still in trouble in a 1 QB. I'm on Raw, Garrett Wilson, Jacobs, Kenneth Walker, Parkinson, flexes, Mike Evans. This is a tough one for a 12-man. This looks like a team that you maybe, got injured or something. Why is Rashid Rice on your... What are we doing, bro? What are we doing with our lives where we got Rashid Rice sitting on waivers, or on the bench? Might as well be on waivers. You might as well cut him. You're not using him. You got to trade Mike Evans and Jacobs, or Garrett Wilson and Jacobs, but I'd rather you trade Mike Evans and Jacobs. You go get yourself a Jahmyr Gibbs who's injured right now, or some people say, like, he's still got a little bit of the hammy concerns, workload, whatever. Go get Gibbs. Go get Hall, who had a mediocre day that I still think our channel knows what's up. Go get Bijan. Maybe Jacobs and Mike Evans gets you Bijan, but you need to get Rashid Rice in your lineup. Or even better, you know what? Maybe this is better. Maybe this is a better move. You take Mike Evans or you take Garrett Wilson and you turn Trevor Lawrence into Mahomes, and you do it now, Sloth. You do that, and I move your team from a 6.9, maybe a 6.5, into a 8.0. That's maybe a 7.8. That might be too high. 8 point. You're on your way. Kyler, JD5, 10-man, 1 QB. You got a potential trade piece in Kyler or JD5. Hall, Gibbs, Achane, Mason, Corum, Ford. Good squad. MHJ, Cup, Dell. Love the team so far. I want to consolidate the roster. Yes. Any ideas? You've been a huge help. Thank you. Appreciate you. I would say, like, your running backs are off the hook. Your quarterbacks, so you're trying to trade a JD5 or a Kyler, whichever one gets you more, with potentially a Waddle. You know what? I don't know that you can, like, if you're starting MHJ, Cup, Dell, and Waddle, you're starting all 4 if you have that kind of flex situation. Then you got, like, I don't know that I'm moving much, but if you can only start 3 wide receivers, I would move Waddle to get Laporta. I would move Waddle to get maybe McBride, and I would strongly consider using Mason or Waddle to upgrade Kyler into Mahomes. If you can get Mahomes or Josh Allen out of using Waddle or one of those bench pieces, that team becomes an 8.4, 8.5. You know what I'm saying? Do I drop Dowdle for Trey Benson? I would take Trey Benson personally. Allen and Chase Brown are also on waivers. I would take Trey Benson. I like Allen a lot. And Chase Brown, monitor him for sure. I'm not ready to give up on him at all. My backs are Barkley, Pacheco, Mostert, and Jalen Wright. Yeah, I think I agree with all that. Little sweet. That's a great situation to be in. I appreciate you, my guy. Nico Collins and Ford for Rice and BT. I would take man, that's a close one. I'd take Rice and BT by a hair. Yeah. I don't know. It's pretty even. Chat, can we get a vote on that? Let's get a vote on that one. Let's get a vote on this one. Nico and Ford. Nico's really good. Very underrated. Would you trade Ramondre for Neighbors? I would take Neighbors depends if you need a running back. If you need a running back, I'd take Ramondre. If you need a wide receiver, I'd take Neighbors. That's the definition of an even trade in that context. And in that earlier question, what do we got here? Leaning right side. I'm leaning right side too on that the Rice BT trade. I am. Keon and Najee in the flex. I'm going to go Keon for me. Would you trade Olave and Moss for Achane? I would 100% do that. And yes, you would keep Moss or Swift. I'd rather keep Moss if I was given the choice. Yep. Pick 2. Right. Pick 2 for week 2. Ford, Olave, London, Wright, Coleman. If Wright's the lone starter, he's the lock. If not, and there's ambiguity, then like London and Olave are probably the calls you have to make. But Ford and London is okay too. If you put Olave and Ford, or London and Ford, but I'd probably go with the 2 wide receivers in full PPR. Is what I think I would lean toward, my friend. Appreciate you dropping the super chat. And all right, we're getting down to we're making some headway on the super chats here. High score week 1.5. Okay, two flex traded CMC for DJ Moore and Pacheco. I like Pacheco, but if you could have just got a better receiver than DJ Moore, kept Mason. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Pacheco is good, but I don't know. I think you could have got more. I think you sold yourself short. Kept Mason and BT for Neighbors. Kept Mason, okay, and BT for Neighbors. I think that one could work out, but I think BT still got something to say about that. But Neighbors, I'd probably rather have. Team is A-Rod. A-Rod's kind of a shaky QB1. Nico, Rice, London, Mixon, Mostert, McBride. Thoughts? I think you would have got more. I think Christian McCaffrey would have got you a ton more. I think you sold really low on CMC. Even though we're worried about him, there's a lot of risk. There's still people that would overpay. Love the show. The show loves you back. Blurry. 12 team, half PPR, 1 QB. I have Mahomes, Bijan, Gibbs, Smith, Dell, Kincaid, Ridley, Ford, JMO. My bench has JD5, Mason, Pitts. Any moves to recommend? Mahomes, Bijan, Gibbs, Smith, Dell, Kincaid, Ridley, Ford. I mean, if it's JMO and Ford or Ridley and Ford, Mason and Ridley, Mason and JMO for like a MHJ, type of player, a London type of player, a St. Brown, of course. I'd throw all 3 in for St. Brown. Jamar Chase, I'd throw all 3 in. But realistically, like, is JT even possible using Ford and Mason and JMO, Mason, JMO and Ford, Ridley, JMO and Mason? I mean, I'm swinging at all that. Achane would be fantastic. Kyron would be fantastic. JT would be fantastic. Those are all home runs. And, of course, I'd maybe consider a little bit lesser players, but you'd have to kind of throw them one by one at me. Yo, Smitty, I'm in a 12-man PPR league, and my team is Kyler, Lamb, Amari Cooper. I'm trading Amari Cooper. Achane, Kyron, Laporta, Keenan and Cooper I'm trying to get rid of. Likely, Swift, Dobbins. You got Laporta, so Likely and Swift, Likely and Dobbins with Amari Cooper or with Keenan Allen for one bigger monster. Picking up MHJ. Love MHJ. I would take MHJ for Dobbins. I would take MHJ for Swift and Amari Cooper. I'd trade Swift and Amari Cooper for MHJ. And obviously I'd go after London. I'd certainly go after St. Brown and those guys as well, though, for sure. Got Hawkinson and Puka on IR. Picked up Marcus Robinson for a flex. I have Kittle for a tight end. Keep TJ Hawkinson or drop to pick up Hollywood Brown. I pick up Hollywood Brown. We don't know when Hawkinson's even going to be back to form, bro. It's definitely not a good situation. Got offered Adams and Sutton for Worthy and Bowers. I'd rather have Worthy and Bowers. I'd rather have Worthy over Adams. I really would. I'm not trading Worthy. Worthy's worth more than people know. 10-man standard. Mixon, Zamir, Singletary, Benson, Hill, Wilson, Dell, Kelsey. What do you do about Zamir and Singletary? I don't think anybody's trading for him, bro. There's nobody knocking at your door for Zamir. Give me Zamir. Maybe you could get rid of him for a doubted player like Dell, who you have. Shit. Seems like Worthy could be had pretty cheaply right now. I don't understand that one. But Zamir, and you'd have to couple Zamir with like Watson to go get a BT, or something like that. I think maybe trading for Jalen Wright using Zamir would be interesting if someone would even do it. It might be too late to even pull it off. You've got Benson, so Connor, so Zamir and maybe Watson for Connor. Maybe you use Benson and Zamir to the Connor owner to try and get some other RB or player like Tank Dell and Tank Dell's, wheelhouse potentially. It's a tough one, bro. I'd be tempted to downgrade Kelsey into a different player too. If that, like, let's say going to Kyle Pitts felt like a downgrade to the Kyle Pitts owner or upgrade, then I'd do that to try and maneuver Zamir into a small upgrade. So you might have to do a 2-for-1 targeting a player that's a downgrade from Kelsey. 10-team PPR: Mahomes, Jacobs, CMC, MHJ, Neighbors, Ingram, Dell, Terry McLaurin, Jordan Mason. Any moves? I don't know. I guess I would maybe look, since you've got Mason and CMC cuffed, I don't think I'm trying to move that. Mahomes I love. MHJ I love. Neighbors is solid. Dell I love. Maybe McLaurin and McLaurin or Hollywood. Jacobs and McLaurin for Pacheco, for JT, for Debo. I even like MHJ still over that. And MHJ seems to be a completely discarded player right now, and I just can't understand it. I don't get it. Can you rate this team? Josh Allen, Kyron, Monty, Garrett Wilson, London, Coleman, Mason, McBride. Very good team, maybe 7.8. You're getting from 7.8 to 8.5. Could be one small move, a maneuver. Let's call it you get rid of Mason on the high right now. Keep McBride. Mason and maybe Reed for, I mean, bro, you slip in there and get a St. Brown doubted. You slip in there and get a potential RB like JT or a Kyron Achane type player to go next to Kyron. So Achane would be perfect. Achane's banged up right now. Maybe even Monty and Mason maybe go to the CMC owner and see what they have to try and upgrade Monty, or to upgrade potentially your Jaden Reed. And I don't get rid of Jaden Reed lightly. Like, I love Jaden Reed. So please don't go tossing him out there like he's garbage or something. Racing Boy with a $20 hauler. Racing Boy to the mother freaking Mars. To Mars. Smitty did you get to my super chat? Didn't hear you. Let me see. Racing Boy. I think we did. Racing Boy. Trade Mostert and A.D. Mitchell for Keon Coleman. In Dynasty, maybe, but I think A.D. Mitchell and Coleman have very similar value. So if you've got Wright, if you don't have Wright, you just have Mostert, I can understand this move, but I'm telling you, Racing Boy, we don't know if A.D. Mitchell or Coleman's which one's going to be better. I love both of them. It's not a knock on Coleman. It's not a backing off of the Coleman prediction or anything like that. It's just A.D. Mitchell is looking straight fire right now. And A.D. Mitchell should have had 2 touchdowns and 100 yards, and he had nothing. And it's not his fault. He was overthrown. He was on the verge of becoming Xavier Worthy off of that game. Would this be too much? JJ and Waddle for Hill? Yes. I would have MHJ, Ladd, and JMO left at wide receiver. I'm not doing it. I think JJ and Waddle is better than Hill. I like Hill, but that's just way too much, bro. Way too much. You skipped my other super chat. I also got offered Kupp, Harris, Hubbard for Kamara, Jameson, Williams, and Andrews. You got offered Kupp and Harris and Hubbard for Kamara, Jameson, Williams. Yes, I'd take Kupp in a millisecond, David. A millisecond, David. And let's go find your other super chat. Hurt, CD, Kupp, Debo, Nico, Harris, Robinson, Kincaid, Purdy, Nico. Would you trade Kupp and Harris for Kamara, Xavier Worthy? Kupp and Harris for Kamara, Xavier Worthy. I'm not trading Kupp. It's a good trade, though. I mean, it's a good offer because Kamara is that good. I'm sorry if I skipped that. I felt like I hit that, but I'm not trading Cooper Kupp. I think nobody wants to trade Cooper Kupp in this chat. I don't think anybody should be trading Cooper Kupp. He's Cooper Kupp, bro. He's a Mars man extraordinaire. Brian Robinson for Worthy. I take Worthy in a millisecond, my guy. Millisecond. Trade Justin Fields and Javonte for Mason. Sure. If you're not using either one of those guys, trade them. Do it live. Have Ferguson and Likely. Is it worth dropping Ferguson for Wright? Yes, it is. Absolutely. Smash it. Do it live. Do it now. Get him before it's too late. Pickens and Dobbins or Coleman. I'm going to say Pickens, and then Dobbins in that order. Trade Pittman for JMO. I'd take JMO in a millisecond over Pittman. Sorry. Bye. Bye. Thank you for the super chat, David. Sorry I missed the first one. If I did, I felt like I got it, but I may have. $10 hauler. I have Mason. CMC owner has him on the trade block. I have Hurts, Kyron, Garrett Wilson, Debo, Dell, Coleman, Pitts, Dobbs, Warren, Chase Brown. Piece together a trade for CMC. I mean, bro, we're not giving up Kyron. We're not giving up Debo. We're not giving up Dell. I mean, maybe we do Garrett Wilson straight up for Christian McCaffrey, but that's it. Throw in Chase Brown, throw in Benson, throw in Warren, like one of those guys, sure. Maybe a Pitts downgrade or something like that into one of his tight ends if his tight end's still serviceable, like Goddard or something, sure, I guess. But that's it. One player. He's not getting multiple pieces. This is a injured CMC. Who do I start, Zamir or Jalen Wright? We're going Jalen Wright, probably assuming he's even the number 2 and Achane's the 1. If Wright's not the starter in name by at least one of those 2 spots, then we got to go a different direction, like Brian Thomas Jr. But Wright is, or between Zamir and I guess I go Jalen Wright as long as he's playing. And who do you start between BT and McConkey? BT by a mile. I think McConkey's solid, but I mean, BT's been proving it for a while now. He looks so good. I have Hurts, Cook, Kamara, Singletary, Wright, St. Brown, MHJ, Waddle, and McBride. Thoughts on a running back upgrade? I guess I would probably say something along the lines of, Hurts, Cook, Kamara, Singletary. Maybe Cook and Waddle, or Cook and Neighbors preferably. I don't trade MHJ on the low. I don't trade St. Brown on the low. Cook and Neighbors maybe get you, I mean, JT, Kyron, Achane, Gibbs. I don't know that there's much more to get other than Pacheco, and it's like, I don't think Cook and Neighbors for Pacheco is tough. You almost need to get one other player back, but I would do that if I'm getting one other player back. And would I take Walker? I would take Walker if I'm getting a significant wide receiver back. So maybe you buy low on Walker and try and do that. 12.5 AR5 MHJ, Cooper Kupp, JT Ford. I'm trading Cooper Kupp if I can. Mason and Kupp together would be great. Go to the CMC owner, see if you can give a Mason for something. Mason and Amari Cooper for a monster upgrade wide receiver. Like if they've got St. Brown right now and you can give Cooper and Mason to the Christian McCaffrey owner and go, pay the piper, secure your RB, they might give you St. Brown or Jamar Chase. Like that's what I'm doing with this particular team. And that's the only thing I'm thinking of doing. Got JT already. I like it. I like it a lot. Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Kamara, Achane, JJ. Any trade ideas? I guess I'd try and get rid of Pittman. Pittman to upgrade JD 5 into Mahomes or Achane, or Mahomes, Josh Allen, or any of the big 3 quarterbacks. I would look at that, even though I love JD 5. Pittman and maybe Kamara for a slight running back upgrade to the tune of the Achane, or you got Achane, Kyron, JT. Neighbors and Kamara for Gibbs. Neighbors and Kamara for a big monster like that. I think Kyron would be fantastic on this roster. AG says I never got to your super chat. AG, I'm still going through them, pal. I got a boatload here. I'm doing the best I can to get through them. I'll put yours on screen here, but it's not that I didn't get to it. We're just still rolling through them all. JD5, Connor, Walker, Garrett Wilson, Rice, Laporta, BT, Charbonnet, Wright, McLaurin, Puka Nacua, Brooks. Any 2-for-1s. Drop someone for Mitchell or Benson. I guess I'd probably drop. For Mitchell, I'd probably drop Deontay. Yeah. Shaheed maybe for Benson if you wanted to get a little risky, but Shaheed's good. I don't know that I necessarily. As far as any 2-for-1s, I'd say looking at this roster, Connor comes to mind. Connor and maybe BT for that running back upgrade for sure, to the tune of Pacheco and up. all the names I keep listing off. JD5 using Connor, JD5 using Brooks. Brooks and BT together could maybe even get you that Pacheco without having to touch any of the other pieces. Brooks could upgrade JD5 into Mahomes. Brooks and McLaurin could upgrade JD5 into Mahomes. Puka Nacua, I hold him unless I could get someone to buy something solid, or if I could take Puka Nacua and turn JD5 into Mahomes, I'd do that. But then again, it's like I love JD5 so much, I'm okay standing down on that and just saying, you know what, let's just go those other avenues. But you should be able to use Jonathan Brooks, I think, to get something done. I like Jonathan Brooks a lot in that context. Miss my super chat. Not necessarily, Diego. Guys, I'm trying to get through them as fast as I can. There's only so much I can do. There's only so much I can read, my guy. You know, like I'm reading I'm taking care of this as fast as a human being can possibly do it. I promise you that. So if anybody's out there saying he's missing my super chat, he's missing my super chat. I'm not. I'm just trying to get through it. 14-team league QB, JD5, Hall, Mason, Swift, Pollard, Corum, Wright, Cup, Rice, Debo, Smith, Andrews, I think you mean. Drop, Chase, Brown for Wright, absolutely. Doesn't mean I don't want both. Let's see here. Swift and potentially, I like your team, bro. I like your team a lot. I think Hall and Mason's very crafty right here. Andrews and Swift for a Kincaid McBride. That's what I do. I focus on upgrading Andrews into Laporta, McBride, and then Kincaid in that order. Some might say that Kincaid's not going to do it. I say he is. Swift and Pollard and Andrews, and go rogue at tight end to upgrade that player into JT, Kyron, Achane, smash. JD5 into Mahomes using Pollard, Swift, or even Andrews, smash. Diego, sorry about the wait, pal. Let's see here. I mean, I'm not complaining. It's a good problem to have, but it is hard to get through it. I'm doing the best I can. As Mom yelled, I'm doing the best I can all the time to Smitty. Little Smitty's always pissing off Ma. $50 hauler from Joshua, and he says, patience is all. He's working his way up and down the list of super chats. Don't tire him out, or we won't hear. I appreciate you, pal. $20 hauler. You're getting a Denny super chat. 50, man. Rocking.
Give me $50 holler. Get by the brother, Smitty. Give me
Dynasty says, apologies in advance. You didn't forget my super chat. Okay, Dynasty, I'll look for you right now, pal. Appreciate you. I'm looking for you. MHJ and Pollard for Nico. I would rather have I'd rather have Nico slightly over MHJ probably right now, but I'm not concerned about the press conference, Kyler's press conference. Kyler's press conference got taken out of context too. A lot of the written stuff on it, like, oh, Kyler said this, but you watch it, Kyler's just answering questions. AG, appreciate you. Thank you for dropping the $5 holler, my guy. Just letting you know I wasn't mad at you or anything. Finish, appreciate you with the 20. Let me put you right there. I'm looking for Dynasty's question right here. Dynasty says, not sure if you saw my super chat. He already sent a message saying sorry about that. But I apologize for the wait. I'm not mad at anybody for asking. I get it. You're waiting a long time for a super chat. I understand. 12-man PPR, AR5, Collins, Pittman, Bijan, Achane, Ferguson, Bowers, Ladd, Deontay, Warren, Dowdle, Wright. Dowdle had value. Now he doesn't. Deontay had value. Now he doesn't. Ladd now has value. He soon might not. Pittman, I trade him. I like your team a lot. There's not a whole lot to maneuver here, to be honest with you. I wish there was. Wright's going to gain some value, potentially put himself on the map, but you got Achane, so you're not going to want to trade that. I guess I would say if Ladd could turn like Ladd and Pittman into like a DK or higher, would I trade Ladd for Dell? Yes. Would I trade Pittman for Dell? Would I make a small little move? Probably more so than anything else. I don't know that this situation, there's much to maneuver. And unless you're going to trade Ladd and Warren, or, you know, Ladd and Pittman, or Ladd and yeah, that's it. There's not much you can do. I would go after a lowly Tank Dell. I'd go after a Josh Jacobs using Pittman and potentially Warren, Ladd Pittman and Warren, go get Josh Jacobs on the cheap before his quarterback comes back, because I think once his quarterback comes back, everybody's going to want him again. This 1 QB, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver from Finish, $20 hauler. Stevenson, Ford, Zamir White, Adams, Ayuk, Rashee Rice, and Tyreek Hill. McBride, I don't know. You probably don't like my team, but I'm 1-0. Burrow, Stevenson, Ford. I don't hate your team, but look, you got Tyreek Hill, McBride, and Rashee Rice. How can I hate this team? I like your team. I love JD5. Would I try and upgrade Stevenson or Ford? Probably keep Stevenson. Would I try? Well, no. I would trade Stevenson and, let's say, Adams or Stevenson. I mean, you got Tyreek, Rice. I could easily surrender Adams and Stevenson for a Gibbs. I could easily give up Stevenson and maybe Ayuk for Gibbs. Stevenson and Ayuk for Hall. Hall had a pretty rough week in some respects last week, even though he looked good in spots. I think those would be good moves. I think Ford and Ayuk for Pacheco, Ford and Ayuk for Kyron, Achane, Stevenson and Ayuk for Kyron, Achane, JT. All those moves would be the moves I'm making. Doesn't mean I don't love what you got going on to some degree. I like some of those players, bro. I really do. I think you got a good little foundation there. Super chat, 10-team, Waddle and Puka for Garrett Wilson. I'd say no. Olave, Adams, Neighbors, Higgins. Start 2 and 1 flex. Olave, Adams, Neighbors, Higgins. Higgins is out. McLaurin, Jamal Williams, Connor. Connor's hard to sit, man. He really is. Olave. This week, I'm going to go Olave, Neighbors, Connor, or Olave, Neighbors, Adams. Guys, are you starting Adams or Connor? That's where I'm divided on this question. Let the chat kind of give you, I think, a good answer. A Dynasty, I think I already got this one right. You've already re-asked it, I think, in the other question, potentially. Let's see, Wright, if Achane is out. Dowdle, Warren, or Wright. Yeah, Wright for sure, if Achane's out. And if Achane's not out, but Wright's starting in the Mostert role, I'm still starting Wright over those guys. Do I play both Miami running backs? Yes. I would need to bench one Ladd or Deontay. I'm benching Deontay Johnson. I'm not a Deontay guy, my man. All right, let's see here. This trade likely in Chase Brown for McBride. I'm going to take McBride in a heartbeat there. I have CMC. How much time do you think he misses? I'd say 1 week for sure. And then from there, it's like, does he come back and play spotty work and get re-injured, or does he sit out another 2 weeks, let's say, total, and comes back and is eased back into it, and then they share carries to a degree? I think that's what we're looking at, unfortunately. I'm sorry to say. Cody with the super chat. Let me try and put all these on screen so you guys know that you're here at least. Joshua, appreciate your super chat. Matt, appreciate your super chat. I got you right here, pal. This one here from Cry, appreciate you. Got your super chat loading. You're getting there. Let me just put those right there, and then let me. Those are the ones I'm going through next, and then these are in order in which they were received. Well, most recent, and then I'm going to pile on top of them. So Nathan's going to be helped last as of this moment. Shep just got the one before that. Work for what you want is going to be helped before those guys. Matt, appreciate you dropping your $10 hauler. You're going to be helped there. Edit, appreciate you with the $10 hauler, my guy. This one, Dante, appreciate you. You're going to be helped before those guys, but you're right there. This one here is from Bijou, appreciate you dropping the 5 watt on screen. This one's from Carmine, appreciate you with the $10 hauler. We've got Curry with the $4.99. I've got ETN with the $9.99. Appreciate you, my guy. I've got the $4.99 here from John. John, you're my boy. Appreciate you. We've got Ian with the $5 hauler. We got Patrick coming in with 100 watt on screen. He says, read faster. Read fast. He says, for the $100 hauler, read faster. It's game time. No reps off. Just F with you. Keep up the good work. Drop Chase Brown or Madison for Wright. I would drop Madison for Wright. I keep Chase Brown. Start Connor over Adams. Probably safer, yeah. And what do you think about Wilson Jr.? I think there's a scenario where he does get utilized a lot and everybody's like, damn it. We thought it was going to be Wright season. It's certainly a potential. And Patrick, appreciate you dropping the $100 holler. Patrick to the mother flipping moon. To Mars.
To Mars.
To the moon.
To the moon.
And to Saturn.
To Saturn.
Appreciate you, my dude. And this Vegas Mark just traded Wright and Mason for Gibbs. I think it's going to get vetoed. If you've got vetoes in your league, I would be petrified that I wouldn't sleep until it got finally approved officially. Congrats on robbing your league mates. And then thoughts on really buy low or not. I'd buy low, but it depends on what. I mean, his offense concerns me. This is why I said the Raiders, the Titans. I just don't like people that are players that are on bad offenses. This one right here is from Joshua. Cody, I'm going to help you next. I'm going to put you right over there. This one from MJ. MJ, appreciate you with the $5 holler, MJ. MJ to the freaking moon. These are going to be the ones on top I'm going to help first. I'm helping the ones on the right first, and then I'm going over to this other list. Patrick with the super chat here. Patrick, appreciate you. Patrick to the moon. Jonathan, thank you for the $4.99. Oh, Patrick, this is Patrick's question. He said thoughts on thought 20 skipped the line. LOL, been waiting 10 minutes. Who should I drop to pick up? Yeah, I'm sorry, Patrick. I'm doing the best I can. I'm doing the best I can. I mean, look at these. You guys had to read all these, you'd have a heart attack. I promise you. There's not one person in this live stream that wouldn't have an anxiety attack trying to read all of these messages. It's a great problem to have. No one's complaining. But I promise you, this is more reading than I did in all of college on the screen right here. I read less books than what we're looking at right here. And some of you write novels. Everyone wants me to rate their entire team and rate their entire league. So it does get a little bit backed up here. So these are all the super chats that are backed up. I got them all on screen right now, except for this one. My CMC Mason Worthy for Bijan Mark Andrews or Reed for Kincaid. I don't mind Kincaid. That's a good trade. But Mason CMC Worthy for Bijan Andrews. I mean, I guess I take the Bijan side because we don't know what's up with CMC, and you could have this real messy situation, but it's certainly good value. Worthy I like a lot. All right, so I'm caught up in terms of having them all on the screen, but you guys know what I'm working with, okay? So you saw your name on screen. You see your super chat in a pile. I'm doing the best I can. I will smash as fast as I can through these. Matt, got to start too. And some of these questions are so long. Rate my mom's team and my team and my brother's team all at once. It's hard to get through them all. Got to start 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 2 flex. Nico, Waddle, DK, Godwin. Should I do 2-2 and 1 to improve my running back? I don't know. 2 for 1s. I like 2 for 1s. Nico, Waddle, DK. I'm trading Godwin and I'm trading Ford for 1 better player if I can do it. I'm trading Godwin and Warren for 1 better player if I can do it. As far as who to start here, I'm starting Waddle and Nico at wide receiver and wide receiver. I'm starting DK in the flex. At running back, I'm starting Ford and Achane. It's pretty clear cut at that point. You got another flex, I think, so it's probably going to be, I would say, it's probably going to be Keon for me. But yeah, 2 for 1 trades. Do it live. Try your best. Godwin and potentially Ford is your best bet. I don't know that I want to trade the other pieces. Kyrie, appreciate you. 0.5. My QB team is my QB Mahomes, Gibbs, Warren, MHJ, Cup, Devontae Smith, Kincaid. My bench is Worthy. I love Worthy. You got to get Worthy in your lineup somehow. So if that means you're trading away Devontae Smith and let's call it Warren, Devontae Smith, and you don't really have another player, maybe Wright, if Wright gains value here, Devontae Smith and Wright for, let's call it even Pacheco and higher, JT, Kyron, Achane. I don't think Henry's in this mix. you're trying to get that RB. If you get that RB, then you can slip Worthy into the lineup. If you can't get that done, I'm waiting, and maybe you're trading Worthy and Wright for one better player. Maybe you're trading a Devontae Smith later on using Wright or using Warren. I'm not rushing it, but I would explore those running backs right now using a Warren or Wright with your wide receiver like Devontae. But I just don't know if you're going to get that right now. You might have to stand down and wait. Team 12, AR5, Kyron, Mixon, MHJ, Debo, Likely, Flowers, Wandell. It's a good squad. 80 Mitchell, who do I start? Tight end and flex. I would say, your tight end's probably going to be Likely without a doubt, right? You're not starting Schultz, who's banged up. And then your flex, I don't know who your flex is. If your flex is, obviously Debo's starting, so it's probably Flowers. It's Flowers. After Flowers, your best player is, I guess, 80 Mitchell. Yeah. But Flowers needs to be in your lineup. I mean, would I be tempted to go 80 Mitchell over Flowers? I probably would be tempted, but I don't know that I would do it, and I'd probably regret it later if 80 Mitchell goes nuts. Hurts, Kamara, Connor, Lamb, Devontae Smith, McBride, Coleman, Bench, Goff. I love Hollywood Brown on a sell high later, but you got to hold and wait. No value on your bench at all, no offense, but you got to wait on that stuff. I think that you're kind of standing firm. I don't think there's anything you can do with this team that wouldn't put you in a hole if you traded it now. So I'm going to say negative on potentially moving anything. Sorry, but you didn't put mine on the screen, says Nation. Let's look for Nation Super Chat. 12-man. I have Barkley, Zamir White, London, and Garrett Wilson, Laporta, Lab, McConkey, benches, Dobbs. I don't know. Thomas Jr. was starting. Reed was starting. So what's the question, though? 12-man, I have Barkley, Zamir White, London, Garrett Wilson, Laporta, Lab, McConkey, bench. If you were asking for any moves to make, I would probably say, no offense, but it's thin. It's thin. I don't know. This is tough. A 12-man league, I feel like you got hit with an injury or something. I'm starting Reed over Ladd. Come on. We're not putting Ladd in because he scored a touchdown. I'm putting Reed back in that lineup. But maybe we're looking to trade Ladd, McConkey, and Zamir, or Thomas Jr., Ladd, McConkey, and White, and you're trying to get Kamara would help you at running back. That's a cheap running back to go get. I don't know. Like, part of me wonders if you've got to make some sort of divide and conquer move, like you're trading Barkley for Achane and Dell. Go to the Dell owner, see what RB they have that can make that work. But I don't know if I could say that your team was going to win it all based on looking at it. I think that a Barkley divide and conquer before it's too late, because right now you can get the world. If he goes out as an okay game, you're not going to. So I'd explore that. Go to the Dell owner, go to the DK owner, go to the Debo owner, go to the the MHJ owner, the London owner, and see what RB you could get in conjunction with that player. Josh Jacobs and Rice for MHJ and Pollard. No way. Rice is worth as much as MHJ, and I like Jacobs over Pollard. I don't mean to say that in a way that makes it look like I don't like all those pieces, but except for Pollard, I just don't think I'd do that. I have Achane. Jalen Wright is a free agent. I have a limited roster spots. Drop Trey Benson or even JSN to pick up Wright. I'd probably drop either one. I guess if you need wide receivers, I would keep JSN. If you don't need wide receivers, then of course I would drop. Either one, just depending on the position of need on your team. So yeah, Il Phil, appreciate your $10 holler. Coveted big money home league. Thanks, Smitty. Have Laporta. Would you drop any of my bench to pick up Likely? I would definitely drop. I guess if you don't need Fields, but if that's your backup quarterback, I would probably drop Kirk for Likely. You can't drop anything else. And I hate dropping Kirk. Maybe you drop your kicker for now, and you try and make a 2-for-1 trade. But if I had to drop, I would drop Kirk. So 3-piece trade is okay. I'm getting Eckler, Waddle, Achane, and trading away CMC, Godwin, Swift. Yeah, I think so. Chad, are we in agreement here? Godwin, Swift, and CMC, and you're getting Achane, and you're getting Waddle and Eckler. What can I trade Higgins for? Dell, give up a little more, get Kenneth Walker, maybe straight up for Kamara. Those three guys come to mind as really good buy lows, I think. Jaden Daniels, Achane, or just a QB upgrade or a tight end upgrade. A slight tight end upgrade or a slight quarterback upgrade. Jaden Daniels, Achane, Pollard, Ford, Dobbins, Zamir, Benson, Lamb, Moore, Ayuk, Higgins, Leggett, likely, or anything I should be doing. I trade Higgins if I can. I trade DJ Moore if I can. I'd trade both of them together with Dobbins to go get that Pacheco or higher RB. Very, very simple. Just keep throwing mud at the wall until it sticks, and you'll finally get a trade that works. 12-team PPR. Just make sure you're sending tons of offers out. You got to send 20 offers out to get one if you're sending good trades that make you better, because you're trying to win the trade, and it takes 20 of them to get somebody to slip up. Has a bad day and just hits the button. Kyron, K9, Najee, Mason, Garendo, wide receivers, Amon-Ra, Olave, DJ Moore, BT. I'm trading DJ Moore. I'm trading trade DJ Moore and Harris to panic CMC owner. Sure. I'd even give up a little more if I needed to. DJ Moore and Harris, and I'd even throw in a potential BT if I needed to. Like, I would not get greedy. I would definitely do that. I think that would be a home run. Would I even give like K9 and DJ Moore? Maybe in that situation, if you're getting Mason, likely Muth at tight end, I like likely way more. Trade Mason and CMC owner for McBride. Trade Mason to the I'd rather have McBride than Mason. That's a good move, I guess. Well, hold on. Who'd you have? You had likely. Where's that at? Let me put that back on screen. Likely. I don't know. If you have likely, maybe you keep Mason. Mason and likely is better. I mean, McBride's awesome. I'd be okay with that. If you made that trade, I'd be okay with it. Was offered Puka and Laporta for my Gibbs. Nope. Other backs are Najee. Nope. Not doing it. That's a no. You don't need a wide receiver like Puka who's not going to be there for you, bro. He's not there. You don't know what's in store for him. PPR 12-team, Prescott, Hall, Walker, MHJ, London, Kincaid, Mason. What trades Mason for Dell and Mitchell? I would take Dell and Mitchell, AD Mitchell, both of them. Yeah. Would I take Dell for Mason? I think I would strongly consider it for sure, bro. If you could use the receiver help right now and you're good at RB, yes, I would take advantage of that. As a Brees owner, do I drop his handcuff for Wright? I'd rather you drop someone else, bro. I'd rather you drop someone else. If this is a 2 QB league, then you can't drop one of those QBs. If it's a 1 QB league, I'm dropping Caleb. And as far as like I'll probably drop Lazard. I know Lazard just had a big game, but I'm not expecting Lazard to continue to ball out, bro. Kenneth Walker. What's this question here? Kenneth Walker or Najee Harris in the flex. I'm going to go Kenneth Walker. Just make sure he's healthy, but of course. This $20 hauler gets immediate attention from RS. Appreciate you, RS. PPR, Burrow, Kyron, Achane, Chase, Dell, Laporta, Brian Robinson, Kirk is on the bench. Wright's going to go into your flex spot, assuming he's starting. Even if he's starting with Achane, if he's starting. And as far as this team goes, I love it. I think I'm standing down unless I'm trading Kirk and B-Rob for a slight RB upgrade like Kamara or Kenneth Walker, or for a DK, or for a Devontae Smith, or maybe trading B-Rob for Dell straight up, which I like. I'm holding strong with that team. This is a super chat from Tanner. Tanner, I'm sorry you're going, unfortunately, to the very back of the line. But I'm coming for you, pal. Don't worry. We're not too far away. Okay, Jonathan, Smitty waited 2 years for a JMO breakout in my Dynasty League. Is JMO season here? It sure is. It's not an overreaction. He looks like the real deal, my guy. He truly does. He looks absolutely fantastic, and he looks quick. And he has the ability to be a number one wide receiver for a team. So it is a little concerning for St. Brown, but not so much that we're freaking out. Wide receiver, Lamb, Cup, Rice, love it. Devontae Smith lacking in the running back room, Walker, and a bunch of Cups. Would you trade Rice, Richardson for Hurts and James Cook? No, I would not. I don't like James Cook anywhere near Rice, and I like the QBs pretty close, to be honest with you. So I'd say no. I like the idea and the concept, but I want a different running back. What I'd probably do if I'm you is trade Devontae Smith or Rice straight up for an RB you already have Walker, but like a Walker. Pacheco comes to mind. Obviously a Kyron or Achane. If you got to give up a little more to get that, I do it. Would I trade something smaller like Kamara? I don't know that I would trade D. Smith for Kamara straight up, but maybe you could get something with Kamara. Kamara's a pretty damn good running back right now. $10 hauler, 1.5K pot. I got Hurts, JT, Ramondre, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Pickens. Okay, Otten. I see what you're doing here. Let's go. 12 super. Is that a super flex? PPR, one wide receiver. Trade CMC owner Mason and Godwin. Cooks, wait a week. 4 Cooks. Mason and Godwin, 4 Cooks. For Brandon Cooks. Mason and Godwin and Pierce for Kyle Pitts. No, none of these are. No. Wait a week. What are we doing here? You're trying to give away Mason. No. 0-1, 10-team PPR, AR5, Bijan Kyron, MHJ Rice, Devontae Smith, bench, Tank Dell, Worthy, etc. Any moves to make? I guess I maybe consider going. I don't know. Actually, no. I mean, I want Tank Dell and Worthy in my lineup, though. That's the only thing. Can you upgrade anything, though? Not really. I mean, it's a good team. You just happen to have a lot of depth, and that's okay. Maybe you're trading Devontae Smith and MHJ for Jamar Chase to get Worthy and Tank, a spot in the lineup. Maybe that's what I do. AR5 into Mahomes, who I think it could be an upgrade. It might not be that big of an upgrade, but you could trade one of, like, even if it's Ridley or maybe Devontae Smith to trade AR5 up into Mahomes. But I'm actually okay with you not doing a thing, and I kind of want that team to stay the way it is. I really think I almost want to tell you to stand down. $20 hauler from Tortoises. Appreciate you, pal. Making waiver decisions. Miami trio, Walker, A.J. Brown, Chase, London, Kyler Murray, Pitts. Love it. Corum, love your team. Good squad. Free agency are Coleman, A.D. Mitchell, Pickens. Pickens needs to be grabbed. Pickens, McLaurin. I love A.D. Mitchell. I love McLaurin, but Pickens is in a league kind of by himself. Drop 1, 2 free agents. Drop one pick, 2 free. Okay. So I guess to pick up Pickens, I'm dropping probably Shaheed. I know he just had a big game. Or Curtis Samuel. Drop Curtis Samuel. Oh, I'm sorry. Shaheed's on the waiver wire. Drop Curtis Samuel. That's your weak link. Curtis Samuel, pick up Pickens. Easy call. I don't know that I'm dropping anything else, though, on your roster. So it is what it is. You're going to have to leave some of those guys out there. That's the way it is in some of those leagues with smaller benches. Or I want to capitalize on Mason, but CMC owner team is ugly. He did offer me Kelsey, but I'd rather ride it out with Mason and stick with Bowers. Guys, if you're this guy, do you take Kelsey for Mason, or do you keep Mason and ride the Bowers train? Can I get a vote on that in the chat, please? Appreciate you. ETN, appreciate you with the $10 hauler. 12-man Burrow, Mayfield, Gibbs, Walker, Hill, JMO, Puka, Higgins, A.D. Mitchell, Cooks. Got offers. Flowers or Neighbors for Chubb? Flowers or Neighbors for your... I mean, bro, Chubb's not even... I wouldn't even pick up Chubb. So you're telling me you get Neighbors? Yeah. I mean, geez. Smash the hell out of that trade. Thank you, Jang. I'm going to put you to the back of the line, unfortunately, but it's actually not that long. We're getting down to the bottom of it. Foreman, appreciate you with the $5 hauler. Who to pick up from the wire? Bigsby, A.D. Mitchell. I like A.D. Mitchell the most. I mean, I showed you the board. You kind of see it. It's right here. The board's the board. The board is going to help you dominate. Mitchell is definitely a big-time pickup. Pause that if you want to watch that and look at that. I'd say Hollywood Brown doesn't need to be on waivers, though. I'd probably pick up Hollywood over anybody else. I would say Hollywood, and then I would rank it Hollywood, A.D. Mitchell in that order. I have Rashad White, ETN picked up Likely this week. Attaboy, picking up Likely. Good job, my guy. Doing it live. $5 hauler from Fitz. Fitz, you're going to go to the back of the line, but I'll help you as soon as I can, pal. Let me throw you to the back here. And then this one from Josh. Josh, appreciate you dropping the super chat. Going to move you to the back of the line as well, but I'll be coming for you. Don't worry, pal. Appreciate you. Okay, Carmine with a super chat. My boy Carmine coming in the building strong with a $10 hauler. start, sit, Keenan Allen, or Marvin? Marvin, come on. After 1 week, are we really doing this? My QB is Kyler, to give him some extra context regarding as a stack, no pressure, but you might be the reason I win or lose. But I don't know what, no offense, that has to do with the answer, because I'm not going to change my mind because I might help you win or lose. Everybody might win or lose, Carmine. I'm not sitting MHJ for Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's banged up right now with a heel issue, and he's an older player in a crowded room. Yes, might have got a little uncrowded, but I don't trust Caleb, and his quarterback just threw 90 yards, bro, with no touchdowns. And I just don't I think this is going to be a worse week. So there's no way I'm sitting MHJ. MHJ you drafted in the top 15. You know, like I don't understand how we're treating MHJ with such disrespect after 1 week. It's because people are peddling it out there, and I think you're consuming the wrong content. I would stop watching somebody that tells you MHJ is garbage. I would immediately unsubscribe to that. There's no way I'm looking at that again. That's ridiculous. After 1 week of football, this guy's the best receiver prospect to ever come out of college. No one missed anything. I saw people putting up a footage of him running. They're like, he looks slow. He's not the same guy. He's actually cooked. To me, it's like, if you don't understand what you saw all offseason long, we've got tons of video footage of him running like a monster, looking absolutely amazing. If you don't understand what you're looking at when you look at MHJ with all the things we've seen, then I don't know that not you particular. I'm not speaking to anybody in here, but I don't know that someone knows football. If someone's creating videos and content out there that's influencing grand scale of people, they don't know ball if they think MHJ was a whiff. They don't know ball at all. At all. At all. I would walk away from that immediately because it's absolute garbage. And I can say that with absolute certainty at this stage. Fane, appreciate you dropping the super chat, my guy. I'll put you in the back of the line, and then Toasty, I gotta put you in the back of the line, but I appreciate you coming in strong, pal. Fane and Toasty to the moon. All right. This one from Bijou, appreciate you. Who would you flex? Wright, Mason, Dobbins, or Dell? In my other running backs are Bijan, Kyron, and my other wide receivers are Pittman, Watson. Okay, first of all, you're not putting Watson in over Dell or so put Dell in over Watson. Waddle, that's good. I like you getting 80 Mitchell, but like, who do you drop? I'm interested in it, but I don't know that I'm dropping anything. I probably say looking at this thing, I'm putting in Mason if he's the lone starter. I'm putting in Wright if he's the lone starter. And if neither one are starting, then maybe Dobbins is entering the equation. But Mason's still going to be the start probably, because there's no way Christian McCaffrey's ready for even a half a workload. And I think he's sitting anyway. So you got a big problem on your hands. That's a good problem. PPR, thoughts on moves, Burrow, Cup, Neighbors. I love this team. I'm trading Swift. I'm trading, you can't trade Hollywood yet, but I'm trading Swift. I'm trading Swift with maybe Neighbors or Burrow to upgrade my quarterback slightly to an AR5 if possible. If Swift can't get that done, Neighbors and Swift for a slight wide receiver upgrade. Swift for MHJ. Even if I'm taking Hollywood Brown and Swift and putting it together to get MHJ on the cheap, and then I worry about that problem later because I don't know who to start, I do that. $10 hauler. My team is Dak, Amon-Ra, Pittman, Kamara, Achane, Kincaid. Like the team a lot. Lab, McConkey, Trey Benson. Any trade ideas? Want to know. Pittman and Dak for one better quarterback. Kamara and Pittman for one better running back. Brian Robinson and Pittman for one better RB. Pacheco and up. Just keep throwing mud at the wall until it sticks. There's 100 different ways you could use those combinations, but just 2 for 1, 2 for 1, 2 for 1. Keep trying until you get it. Send out 20 offers. I traded CMC and Ridley for Gibbs and DK. That's absolutely phenomenal. Smitty approve. Smash your league. Brooks and maybe a DK for slight upgrade. Brooks and ETN for a slight upgrade. Brooks and Dobbins for one player. Smashing the hell out of that. This one here from Matt. 10-team Mahomes, Kyler, running backs, Kyron, Connor, Stevenson, Mason, Hill, London, Rice, Neighbors. I don't know, bro. What are we doing here? Like Connor, Stevenson, one of those guys, upgrading them using, let's call it Neighbors. Sure. Go after JT and slightly below. Obviously, Kyron Achane. Obviously, Pacheco's in this mix. Am I trying to get a... do you have Benson? Is Benson on waivers? So you have Connor and Benson at least to secure up your RB room. Now, you don't necessarily need to do that. What if you went Connor and Neighbors for a St. Brown or Jamar Chase? I still do that because you're still good with Kyron at RB. So I don't have to necessarily get a running back, honestly. It might even be better to go wide receiver. Made 2 trades today. Sent Zach Charbonnet for Love. I like that. My QBs were Herbert and Love coming back in 1 week, maybe this week is the word at the top of the show. We talked about it. Already sent Terry for Higgins. I would not send Scary Terry for Higgins. Higgins is not even playing right now and he's injured. So no way I'm doing that. I withdraw that. DJ Moore, go get MHJ using DJ Moore and some other pieces if need be. Redraft PPR, trade JMO, Zamir, and likely for Jacobs and Judy. I guess I would take the Jacobs side. Sure. I think that makes your team better if Jacobs balls out. This one right here, I'm in a 1 QB, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 2 flex league. My team is Gibbs, Kyron, Diggs, Waddle, Rice, Keon, McBride. Bench is Ladd, Swift, and Reed. Here's the offer I just got. Give Diggs and Ladd for Mike Evans. I would take Mike Evans probably. Although Diggs and Evans could share similar value. It's really, to be honest with you. But I think Evans has better trade value. And maybe you can trade Evans and Swift later for like a St. Brown or even Jamar Chase. I would try and pull that off right away, my guy. I got 2 trades pending, 2 wide receiver, 2 flex. I got AR5 at QB, Jefferson, Waddle, 80 Mitchell. Okay, should I trade Jaden Daniels and Worthy for Marvin Harrison Jr.? I'm going to say no because I like Worthy as much as MHJ. And that's not a knock on MHJ. Or Daniels and Deontay or Mitchell for DK Metcalf. I'd probably take that DK Metcalf side. And given that that's your backup QB, I'm fine with it. Achane owner got Mostert already. Trying to go get Wright. Trade Irving and Adunze for Wright. Yeah, don't even ask for Cooks. Just do it for Wright straight up. You get that, you're a master of trading. 10-team, Mahomes, Walker, Sharps, Mason, B-Rob, Wright, Puka, Hill, Worthy, Reed, Keon, Jamo, McBride, likely, Stan, Pat, Achane owner won't trade. Mahomes, Mason, like Mason's good. Maybe you go after CMC. I don't know. Maybe you trade Mason to the CMC owner, see if you can upgrade B-Rob. I'd probably look into that. Maybe you can upgrade Reed using Mason, go to the CMC owner. I keep Hill. I don't trade Puka. I don't trade Worthy. Puka, wait on him. Walker, I love. Mahomes. It's all about trading B-Rob and Reed for one player or upgrading one of them by using Mason. Mahomes is perfect. Likely, I love it. That's a good team. Smash the hell out of those ideas, and I think you become like an 8.5 team if you pull it off. Today is my 35th birthday. Happy birthday, Josh. Made a pick 'em on Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty, by the way. If you guys haven't known about that, make sure you hit promo code Smitty. The link will be in the live chat right now, and I'm gonna pin it, and you can play Underdog Fantasy. We might draft. I don't know if we'll draft tonight, but I love doing these battle royales for week number 2. They're so fun. They're so fun. I drafted so much Jordan Mason last night, and I did some CMC drafts just because you can kind of pit him in a way that helps you. Today is my 35th birthday. Made a pick on Underdog. Under passing yards, Knicks, Darnold, Levis, Hall, TD, 7.5 receiving. Yeah, I mean, some of those look good. I'm definitely doing a lot of overs more than I do unders. This is kind of my nature. But I like some of those. Those look good. I think Tank Dell's 58.5 total yards is a smash over. 12-team, 1 QB, full PPR. Thoughts on moves? Go hit that link in the live chat. I just pinned it. Do the Tank Dell over on 58.5 yards. That's a smash. And total yards. Burrow, Cup, Neighbors, Bijan, Achane, Kincaid, Swift. I'm trading Swift, and I'm trading Neighbors for one better player. I'm trading St. Brown comes to mind. Jamar Chase comes to mind, obviously. This is a very good team. I think Swift could help you upgrade Burrow into AR5 or I even wonder if like a Dak or a Kyler might be better than Burrow right now. Personally, like that, I'm probably using that trade piece that way to upgrade quarterback or to upgrade one spot. Mixon and Schultz for Kelsey. I have Mason, Monty, Sharps. Mixon's interesting right now. I'd probably take Kelsey, but it's very understandable if someone was to go in that direction. Gabe with the $20 hauler. Appreciate Gabe dropping that. We've got new super chats on the board. Let me pull those over. This is a $1.99 from Loso. Appreciate you. TH dropping a super chat. Appreciate you. This one from Robbie Jimenez. Appreciate you dropping that one. Let me put that on screen here. Alec with the new super chat, $4.99. Appreciate you, Alec. Toasty Buns coming in with a $4.99 again. Appreciate you, Toasty, for returning. And then this last one is from Lang. Appreciate you. Let's go to this Gabe $20 hauler. Keon Coleman and $10 fab for Amari Cooper. I don't know. I don't think I like Cooper enough to even worry about going and getting him. I'd probably say no. Also, which two do you start over McMillan, Johnson, and Cooper and Coleman? I'm going to start probably Cooper and Coleman. You don't know what McMillan and Johnson's workload's going to be. So negative on the trade. As far as like an idea of what you could do, I'd probably say, you know, you kind of have to stand down. I didn't get anything but the wide receivers here, but I definitely would probably stand down. I think Puka's hard to trade too. I don't know that anybody's going to give you what you deserve. Got Achane owner, got Mostert already trying to get right. Oh, I already answered this one. Appreciate you for dropping that. Toasty Buns. I think I already got Toasties out of the way as well. Okay, so some of these I did get to. Traded Parkinson for Najee and Najee for Bowers. I'm feeling great. I'm fine with that. I don't think Najee's something that I'm worried about holding. Lamar, Kyron, Kenneth Walker, London, St. Brown, Johnson, Flex Neighbors in the bench. Aaron Jones, Swift, Higgins, Thomas Jr. Any moves? Yeah, Swift and Higgins. BT and Swift. Aaron Jones and Higgins. Aaron Jones and Swift and Higgins. All of that to go get one solid second round equivalent, top of round 3 equivalent player. I think if you can upgrade your QB Lamar using Swift or Higgins or Brian Thomas, or using two of them to get a Mahomes, I do that. To get Josh Allen, I do that. Even AR5, I'd send like Swift and Lamar for AR5. But I think, you know, Higgins and Swift for one player like DK, or maybe even Swift for Tank Dell. Aaron Jones and Swift, or Higgins and Aaron Jones for Pacheco. Those are all home run smashes. TH, appreciate you. Thoughts on Ramondre and J-Mo for Chase? I would take Chase probably in a heartbeat. Even though that's good talent, it's not a bad trade offer, really. Both of you are winning. But let's see here. Trading Diggs for MHJ. I would rather have MHJ. I don't know how people are giving up on him already. HN owner got Mostert already, trying to get right. Oh, I already answered that one. I keep going back to that one. It's a good question though. Still thinking. Okay, I got it low, so I figured it out, but I appreciate you dropping another super chat to tell me you're the man. Mason and what for Walker, or what's a good trade for Mason? Mason and what? I mean, I don't know what you have, Pierce. Mason and what for Walker? I would say if you got to include it in a super chat, I have no idea what you said previously. There's zero chance I'm remembering anything that you said already. Mason and what for Walker? Mason and, I don't know, like Mason and maybe a JK, a potential player that Deontay or McConkey, who scored and everybody thinks is amazing. I'm doing on any of those things. Mason to get a Tank Dell is interesting. Some wouldn't do it. I would. Mason to get MHJ. You got to throw in a Deontay or something small. I'm doing that. I'm definitely shopping Mason. Kincaid straight up, or McBride more so than Kincaid. We're cleared on the super chats. If there's any other ones, I can answer them real quickly in order in which they're received, and I'll get to them right away. I apologize that it took so long to get through those. I literally did my best. We got 1,000 people still in here. 440 thumbs up, which is amazing. But if 924 to 1,000 of you are in here, and we only have 444 thumbs up, my math tells me that we're under 50%, or right, just over, slightly over 50%. If we could get those thumbs up into the 500s at least, I would be greatly appreciating your services. Second of all, if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, we are live every single day here on the channel, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. That is what this show is. 8 p.m. Eastern, that means we've been live for over 4 hours, or 3.5 hours. We've been live for 3.5 hours here on the 8 p.m. show, doing it live. News always at the top of the show. You'll never get a better, I think, in my opinion at least, and I think a lot of people's opinions, you'll never get a better breakdown of the day's news in fantasy and the NFL. You don't even have to be a fantasy football owner to love this channel. Okay, so we're here every day for you, 8 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. I'm additionally live whenever big news breaks. I'm also live most midnights drafting with you. So week 2, we do week 2 drafts. I'm a little zonked today. We've been live so many times. We have so many videos up today. Appreciate every single one of you. You guys absolutely rock. Ford and Dobbins for Pickens and Rice. Or no, Ford plus Dobbins plus Pickens, all of them for Rice and Pollard. I would take Rice and Pollard because I love Rice that much, and then I try and flip Pollard. But I'm a little crazy for Rice right now, bro. Start one, Reed, Worthy, or Dobbins. I love all three right now. I don't love Dobbins long-term, but he does look good right now. Shouldn't say I love him, but I like him a lot right now. He looks strong, but I think he gets hurt. I'm starting Worthy. I can't sit Worthy. I love Reed. Reed doesn't have Jordan Love. Potentially might have him this week, but probably not. So I'm going to go, if Reed had Love, it'd be a tough 50-50 call, but I'm still going Worthy right now. Rate this team improvement. Should I make a PPR 12-man QB Hurts? Gibbs, Kyron, Cup, Rashee Rice, Flex is Dell. I'm not moving a single thing. I love every single player on the squad. And I don't know that the bench, other than Mason, has much trade value. And so if you were to use that, let's say, could you upgrade, I suppose, could you upgrade Dell using Mason? So Dell and Mason for St. Brown, Dell and Mason for Jamar Chase, Dell and Mason. But that's it. Past that, you don't get one of those guys. I don't even know that I'm doing it for London. I don't know that I'm doing it for Debo. I'm just keeping what you have, stand down. Sometimes waiting on Mason might open the door to a huge monster trade you never get. But I don't even know if you need it because your team is easily an 8.2, 8.3, 8.4 out of 10. It's an absolute glorious squad. Nice job with your squad. I'm out of here. Appreciate you all. Lost my voice already. I'll have it gone pretty much the whole season now. Yeah. Appreciate you all. You guys absolutely rock. I can't thank you enough. I work for you. Super chats were out of control tonight. You absolutely rock. I work for you Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday, live whenever news breaks as well, in addition. And then live most midnights. Go do it live. Achane, please play for us this week.
Achane. Achane is the man. His haters call him small,
but he is 9 feet tall.
Achane is the man.
Thank you, Top Chef. Appreciate you. Brofist Brad, appreciate the super chat. Graveyard tonight, brother? It's like it's midnight right now. It's just turning midnight, and we're not off the 8 p.m. show. And Brofist wants me to go another 4 rounds. Oh, Brofist, come on, bro. Please no breaking news tonight. Please no breaking news tonight. Please no breaking news tonight. Should I hold Chubb, Hawkinson? You missed it. Old Greg, no. I mean, it depends. I'm picking up like Wright and all those guys, of course. Chubb, I don't think Chubb is going to do anything. Missed my Smitty, Wright, and Mason for Gibbs. I don't think I missed yours, bro. I think but it's right here, so it's good. We're good. Wright and Mason for Gibbs. I mean, you got to take Gibbs and run from the veto police. You might have missed it because maybe when the chat message went through, it got spam blocked by the system because it thought that someone was trying to just make fun of somebody because no one's going to do that trade. If you pull that trade off, we all quit our jobs and we all work for you. Deuces. Appreciate you. If someone drops a super chat on the way out, put it in the comments because I won't see it because I'm hitting the end button right now. Appreciate you all.